And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Smoker Show, Season 3, Episode 4, I think it is, the last episode of 2019. Excuse me, of 2020, as we reel in 2021 here in a couple of days. Bill has not messaged me that something is not working, so I'm assuming that everything is working and you can hear me. The telephone lines are open if you want to call in and wish us a Happy New Year, or maybe give us $1 million through PayPal, 215-383-5752. I've got my eye on the switchboard, and joining me, of course, as always, the lovely, the robust, the creamy, the delicious, the beautiful, the newly slim, Phil Bisardo. What's up, Phil?
You know what?
What is that intro? That intro rather should give you a chubby.
It really is. You know, it's almost like when they the intro Rocky or Apollo Creed. It's like I have all those nicknames. You gave me all those nicknames, by the way.
That's true. That's true.
I appreciate like anybody who would call in and give us $1 million of PayPal, but tonight we'll take $500,000.
$500,000?
Tonight only. Yes.
Are you content with that? Good evening to everybody in the chat. Thanks to everybody that came over from ST's show. I know they were doing some end of the year shows over there with the boys from the Vape team. So we appreciate you being here. We're going to have a little bit of fun, do a little recap of what a year. I mean, what a year. If the 2020 goes away and we don't have to talk about it again ever, you know, that would be all right with me.
That would be a great thing. That would be like, I just hope that it can't get worse, right? I mean, it can't get worse.
I mean, there's still 2 more days left, so I would be very, very careful in what you're saying. But yeah. Yeah, I don't think. Oh, I just want to make sure. Yeah, I just added that. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Bill. You're correct. That was a new shot that I made today. I removed the audio now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's right.
uh-oh.
He's right. I always do
Okay.
that because I made this new shot. This because we're going to be using the Zoom chat. So I made a new chat and I had the audio coming from both sides. But now I've removed one side and it's only from one end the audio
Yeah.
coming in.
Only from one end. You know what's exciting about this show? Another one of the things that are just like so exciting about the show is that you change the shots almost on a weekly basis, and I noticed that because I took all the screenshots of the past year's shows,
Yeah, I
and
do.
you do a lot of fiddling and
I tweak.
changing.
I tweak a little bit. I
You
try. I
do.
mean, I have like these main shots that we've used in the last, which I really like. Like this, you're not in the frame here, but if you
Okay.
were, I like this shot. I really like. It's come
That's a
out
good one.
come together. I've kept a couple of them, but we'll see what I'm going to do in 2021. I might
Very
put a new
exciting.
intro. I want to make a new intro for 2021. And also, I might Titler 4 released a new update a couple of days ago, so I'll see what new they have, like new these little little boxes and stuff like that maybe we can put in there. But anyway, that's not here or there.
It's not.
Let me
But it's
take
exciting though. It's very
yeah, let me
exciting.
take the screen capture and put it there. So I'll hide it underneath there. Oh, boom, it's done. What was I gonna say? Other than that, how was your Christmas?
It was uneventful. Trying to even remember what I did. I went to the the neighbor for breakfast. I went over to Chris and Kim for dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and that was
And
pretty
that was
much
pretty
my
much it.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody that I talked to pretty much the same. I mean, due to COVID, obviously, not a lot of get-togethers or family gatherings and stuff like that. So we just stayed home with the kids and just cooked and I didn't even go like crazy cooking like I do every year. I just made like a prime rib, bone in, which was delicious. Some Greek style oven potatoes and a salad, and that's pretty much it. That's what we did. It just kind of sucks. It didn't have that same vibe, that same feeling.
No, absolutely not. There was no Christmas vibe. I had no Christmas spirit. Yeah. I hope next Christmas. I mean, I've spent every Christmas with my family, since
Yeah.
the beginning of time, and to not do it this year was it was shitty.
Um, I don't. I'm gonna be like the Grinch. I'm gonna be again the. I just don't see things getting any better anytime soon. I just don't. I mean, at least till Easter. I just don't think anything's gonna be better. I was just in Greece, as you know, I mean the whole country's in lockdown. And I mean rightfully so. They're keeping it under control. They're not trying to get the hospitals overloaded and stuff like that. But people are taking it seriously, and everybody that I talked to there said the same thing. I mean, we just don't see this before Easter getting any better. So if here in America we continue not being careful and not following some guidelines and some protocols, it's just going to get worse. And I know that we have the vaccine now, but you can't vaccine through vaccinate 300 million people overnight. And we don't even know if what it's a vaccine, whatever. We don't know what that's going to do. So I just don't see it getting any better in 2021. I mean, I hate to be the bad guy, but unless you have a different opinion on that,
Oh, well, let me ask you this: are you going to take the vaccine?
yes.
Okay. All right. Me too. All right. Good. I was curious about that because sometimes there are times that we don't agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would imagine that if you would follow the science on vaping, you're going to follow the science on the vaccine. Too,
Look, I'm
right?
not against it. I'm not. I find it weird that in 10 months, they were able to get a vaccine out and get approved from the FDA, while the FDA has been looking at vaping since 2011 and they haven't been able to approve one fucking product. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit, as anybody that's been involved in politics, I mean, if you're a vapor and you're a passionate advocate vapor like we are, there's no doubt that in your mind you have a little hesitation about anything that the government does. Simply because we've seen it, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that today as well too.
Yeah, I did a live on platform. I announced the winner of a contest. I know you watch everything, you see everything,
Of course.
and I went off on an f bomb tirade on mainstream media. I've had it. I'm so disgusted with everything that I see there. the fear mongering, the creation of drama, the negative spin on everything, the perpetuation of violence, the perpetuation of racism. They're to me, they're the root of a lot of evils right now.
I agree. I agree that they definitely put in the minds of people these conspiracy theories as well too, which is, you know, and then Facebook helps share all these crazy theories, and it just turns, it's like I get on Facebook, I don't know if you've noticed, but the last couple months I just haven't been able to tolerate, like, somebody makes a stupid post on my Facebook, I just reply, and I, like, you know, I'm pretty brutal.
Yeah, but you've been that way for a long time, though.
Yeah, I have, but even more so lately, because just the other, I mean, if you follow me on Facebook, chances are, if you're not my family or a very select few close friends, you follow me for vape stuff. Yeah. Like, everybody that I have 15,000 people on Facebook, it's for vape stuff.
Right.
And people have known me over the years that I always share information, articles, good, bad, pertinent, calls to action. I share it all on my Facebook. So before this, when this bill was announced with the 600 stimulus, we told people that inside this bill, because it's an omnibus, there is the provision inside that's going to ban vape mail to be shipped through USPS.
Right.
So there was a call to action for a day. People calling the White House, that didn't do shit. So then Trump comes out and says, I'm going to veto this thing. So I said, well, that's a good opportunity. If he vetoes this thing, at least, you know, I mean, I hate it. There's people out there that desperately need money, you know, to survive. I hate it for them, but from a vapor advocate, I see it as a plus because this is going to be removed. So obviously he didn't veto it, he signed it. So I posted on my Facebook a link to the article. Folks, it wasn't me that didn't veto it. I just posted a link to the article that Trump did not veto, and my text was, he didn't veto. I wasn't offending, you know, your boy or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I didn't say anything bad about Trump.
Right.
And everybody's starting to put, oh, he's going to redline, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. The omnibus vape mail is in there, and that's not going to be redlined. He's not going to look at these vapors. We got to take these vapors out of here. I'm going to redline. That's just not going to happen. But my point is that people got offended and had to defend their boy on my Facebook. And I posted on the bottom, you guys got to get a life. I didn't say nothing about your boy. All I'm saying is that vape mail is screwed. And you know what bothers me even more? That a lot of these people are vape shop owners or they're in the industry. They just don't, you know, they can't equate one or two. Maybe their clientele is not the 60 and 65-year-old ladies that talk to us, Phil, that send us messages every day crying, telling us that they live in a very rural area. They're going to have to go back to smoking because they can give it. Maybe if those were your customers, you wouldn't be posting shit like that on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, but that's just the reality of what we've come. Social media has given people the opportunity to post something without me backhanding them. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was there and I'd backhand them, they wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, it's not good. I think it's really bad. I think it's really dangerous. You go on YouTube but the thing is, I'm guilty of watching it, right? Somebody has an opinion on everything.
Sure.
And there's a lot of people
Sure.
that have opinions on everything. And you know, sometimes you agree, sometimes you don't. But these mediums, the social media, it just gives people just the chance to just throw it out. And think about it, before social media, how would anybody know what you were feeling or what you were thinking? They didn't, right? Unless you wore it on your shirt, right? When you were walking around, they didn't. But now, and I've said many times, I think social media is a great thing because it gives everybody a voice, and I think social media is a horrible thing because it gives everybody a voice.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
I can't argue that fact.
You can literally put a post that says the sky is blue.
Yeah.
And you'll piss somebody off. You'll offend somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody will disagree with you.
Yeah. Patrick says, Demetrius, why didn't you warn us about the vape mail ban? I can already see folks complaining that other people didn't do enough. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I mean, obviously, both me and Phil posted about it, but that's not the point. The point is when you're trying to draw lines here and trying to figure out who put it in, who took folks, neither Republicans or Democrats give a shit about your vaping ass. Nobody cares about your health. Nobody cares that you quit smoking. I don't care if you're an elephant or if you're a donkey, if you're red or you're blue, if you're MAGA or if you're Biden, whatever. I don't care what you are. None of the people that you have elected care about you. Okay? So this is prime example of it. The omnibus edition of the vape mail ban just goes to show you that there was not enough, I don't want to say voice from us, but from the consumers of vape products to let their constituents of these politicians to let them know that this was an important matter that need to be negotiated from one side of the aisle. And it wasn't. It wasn't even discussed, to be honest with you. Just like the Cole Bishop bill. We were just like the easy prey to put in there and just like, they're not going to do that. And they were right. So yeah, the fact that it's in there, it's not the end of vaping because of this vape mail ban. Okay, it's going to be more expensive. You're going to have to go through some hoops. B2B is not prohibited for you to, from business to send product. You're going to have to register and do all kinds of stuff like that. But folks, let me just tell you, I'm going to go on the record and tell you that 2 weeks before I left for Greece, I had THC shipped to me from Vegas. With USPS. Not for me. It's some vape pens that I take to somebody that uses them for pain in Greece, and they want this particular brand. But I had 4 vape pens with THC shipped to me with USPS from Vegas to my house. So some of these laws are a little bit extreme. Yeah, you can get caught. There's federal penalties and stuff like that, but it's not the end. Plus, there's still, for now, DHL and UPS are still shipping. FedEx is another one that's announced that they're not going to ship vape products, but that could change. That could change. But it's definitely.
I have a question. I'm in pain. Do you have any of those pens left?
No, I took them all to Greece with me. I literally carried 4 vape pens in my suitcase. Thankfully, everybody was scared there's no customs there because everybody's scared of COVID, so I got in. But seriously, there's also going to be an open comment period on this particular thing. So there's going to be a period, I don't know how long of a duration it has, but public input will be able to, on all these omnibus bills, you have that opportunity to have public input. Maybe we'll have a good showing. Probably not. I'm just saying that that there is going to be a period for public comment as well. So you can express how you feel about this. But the reality is, folks, come on, in America, the reality is a very, very small portion of people that really care or are willing to do something above and beyond sharing a Facebook post to make their voice heard. And that's just always been our problem in the vaping industry, where we're getting bombarded for the last 4 or 5 years. Janine says, "People, sorry, you seem deflated this evening. I hope you're okay." She sends a little love. Janine says, "A sweet person," and she's had some death in her family the last couple months, man. Our prayers out to you, Janine.
She still cares about others. That's wonderful.
Yep.
I don't understand politics, and this isn't the DP show. This is the Smoker show. But like when the president went through like everything that was in that bill, considering what's going on in this country and considering that businesses need money and people need money and people need money to eat and survive and pay their rent and pay their mortgage, it just disgusts me that there's so much additional money is going to ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what is going on? How does anybody see that bill and say that's okay right now? That's okay. This is what we need right now.
I agree with you, but this has been happening in the government, for the last 100 years,
right? But you don't really see it.
Sometimes and even if you see it, what are we doing about it? We're making memes of it and posting it on Facebook. Saying, "Oh, we're sending gender money to Pakistan or whatever." We're making fun of it on Facebook, but what are we really doing about it? That's the question. Like at some point, the citizens of this country are going to have to stand up and say enough is enough. But nobody's doing it. We're sharing it on Facebook and we're making TikTok videos. That's exactly what Americans are doing right now.
Yeah, but like,
fight me.
So, Janine said, I look deflated. But what do you do? I mean, what can you do? We've been fighting this vape battle along with I always say that I'm not an advocate. People say I'm an advocate, whatever. I haven't done an ounce of what you have done, right, over the years. But, I've still done what I can do and where I can get involved.
Everybody to their limitations.
It just nothing works. Nothing has worked.
Yeah. There just hasn't been enough involvement, in my opinion,
The
Phil.
only bit of good news that we got here in Florida is that they didn't ban flavors.
Yeah, this year. It's coming back next year. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just like it feels like it's just a delay of but look, yes, that was good. That was a good thing that happened, and so we got to look at the bright side of things. But the truth is, not enough people get involved. And the other truth is that we're not converting people like we did back in 2013 and 2014, 2015, which, in my opinion, is a big, big problem. If we had continued at 2015, 2016 with the numbers that we were doing early, and we didn't focus on clouds, there I go again. There's a bad guy coming and telling us, oh, yeah, man, but clouds are important. Yeah, they are. But we focused only on how big of your cloud was and not how many people were dying in America. So if we had continued in 2015, 2016, 2017 to keep converting, maybe we'd have 20 million vapors in America today. And maybe that block would be able to be, hey, 20 million people in America is a lot of fucking vapors. You're not going to fuck with us. But our numbers kept dwindling and dwindling. People were leaving people were not converting. People were getting away from it, from that culture and that what appeared to be cult-like because of the appearance of it. I'm not bad people, very good people, but the appearance of it to your average citizen. So I think that at this point, all we got to do is just bend over and take what comes and just start a black market. What it's going to boil down to. You're going to have to tune into the Smoker Show every couple weeks on how to get your shit, and we'll tell you how to get your shit. I mean, that's just, I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to be. I just don't see it getting any better.
So I was actually gonna ask you that. So you're saying that into 2021 you don't see COVID getting any better until
correct,
maybe spring, Easter,
maybe longer than that. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. So what's your opinion on vaping? I don't see anything good down the road. I mean, I guess something that would be good is if we start getting some PMTAs through.
Sure.
Right? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. But I just don't see anybody from the independent industry being able to do that at this given point. I predict maybe a Juul or a Vuse or a Swisher Sweets will be able to get a PMTA for one or two products. But I just don't see the FDA going on an approval spree of approving 1,000 products for the vape shop before the end of the year. I just don't see it happening. But moreover, what's going to be very difficult is going to be legislation in a state-by-state cases this upcoming year that is going to come after they find the opportunity of COVID. We've seen a lot of stories tie in COVID with vaping, and that vaping makes you more susceptible to COVID, which is completely horse crap. It's the opposite. So we're seeing all this setup, for states, especially now that they're hurting because of COVID and the income and all that stuff. They're going to come after vaping, and state by state, they're going to start decimating the industry. It's already decimated. I mean, let's be honest. The other day, I talked to somebody that works at I'm not going to tell you where he works at, but they found a list from 2017 of 7,000 vape shops in America. These lists are created and sold between companies. It's it's B2B stuff or whatever.
Right.
So he had his staff go over this list of 7,000 vape shops from 2017. Half feel were closed. That's 3,500 vape shops closed. So I mean that's a tremendous amount in 3 years. Again, moreover to that is that the vape shops today, we talked about it last time, are more into the variety of products. It's not like the vape shop that we knew back in 2013 and 2014. So I just don't see this year being any better for vaping. I can't see anything good coming from vaping. Financially, I mean, we can't really support the state associations. We can't support a federal organization anymore. VTA is on the brink of collapsing. My state association, which always has operated in the black for the last 6 years, this year we had a hard time budgeting for 2021, meaning having enough money to pay the lobbyist and the public relations firm and, to make the pieces work. We had some companies step up and give a little bit extra. Some of the big players here in Tennessee that have always supported us since day one in order for us just to budget minimum for next year. So if that's happening in Tennessee, which is one of the strongest states for vaping in America, I imagine what's happening in the other states that are just, So to answer your question, strawberry flavored lube, bend over, Just take it as they give it to you, so it doesn't hurt.
I wouldn't use strawberry flavored. I would use the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted and the delicious watermelon peach. It has many uses, ladies and gentlemen. Many uses.
Oh, what a great fucking! That was great.
Absolutely.
That was great. But hey, listen. I don't want to make it a grim because we're going 2021, but I also want to be accurate with people that are listening to this and for them to understand the situation that we're in. People shouldn't lie to you and tell you everything's going to be okay. It's not. It's not going to be okay. PSS says, doesn't the bill include having to verify age at point of delivery and having to sign for packages? Yeah, well, that's part of the PACT Act. PSS, that's already in the PACT Act, so it's not really that they're adding it to the vaping bill, but that, it just drives the cost up. People that do that, they have to register especially with USPS and the federal government, and you have. I mean, it's a nightmare. It makes shipping cost prohibitive. I mean, you can order a bottle of liquid, and it'll be the price of the liquid would probably be as much money to ship it to somebody. Sign on delivery is expensive in America, so. Yeah. So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, it's not pretty. I was even thinking about like some of my neighbors. My neighbors are, some of them are in their 60s, some are in their 70s. There are a few that smoke. And I think, how can I get them to vape? And it's like, even if I were to give them product, now they have to go someplace to get their coils and get their liquids. Naples Vapor isn't bad, right? But are they really going to go out of their way? Are they going to drive? And it's not that far, but it's not as convenient as going to a gas station and getting a pack of cigarettes, right?
Yeah. Or IQOS or whatever comes out this year, because that's coming out.
Yeah.
So.
I just really feel like our style of vaping, whether it be, when I say our style, let's just say open systems, whether it be mouth to lung or direct lung or restricted direct lung. There's a generation that are using these products, and they're going like this, right? And eventually they're gonna fall off the end of the map. They're gonna die out, right? And maybe there's some behind them, but what I think that's behind them are the pod users.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe that's going to survive in some form, but I just don't see the open market, surviving. It's sad. Well, at least in the States, hopefully things continue well overseas, but.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's push in Denmark to ban flavors. There's push for TPD3. We don't know what's going to happen in Europe, but so far we've been safe. As long as we continue that path in Europe and keep converting smokers, I think we're going to be okay. But I think that had a lot to do with it here. I think that we forgot about the smokers had a lot to do with it here. But anyway, hey, Fig Ramsey in the chat. Hey, Mr. Apathy Miller, Mr. Lewis, Canadian Vapor. What's up, guys? Nice to see you here. Mr. Thomas Kirsop is here. Yeah. So anyway, what was I going to say? A little recap. Is that what you want to do? Do you want to start with a recap?
Sure, we'll do a recap. This is going to be a disaster, but we'll try it.
Yeah. Well,
let's just talk about some of the shows, some of the things that we talked about on the shows.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of fun. You can show one of the 81 photos that I sent you.
Yeah, just point me to what, to where. No, go ahead.
Going back to, we actually have to go back. If we're going to go back to the year, we're going to go back to season 2, episode 11, and that's going to be the France tour.
Yeah.
You think about it.
Let me see.
It feels like a million years ago, right? That we were out on the road and we were traveling all over the world, and we were meeting, people and talking with people and spreading the love and the joy of vaping. And it just seems like a different world at this point.
You know what? I do miss. I'm looking through the pictures. I'm trying to find the.
It's okay.
The France tour. But I see France, but it has a picture of your mom on it.
Well, yeah, because that's one of the things that we did in that episode. Mom was on the show. Right? Mom was on the show.
I got you. All right.
So we did a little bit of the French tour. Mom was on the show. That, as a matter of fact, is the episode where you told the PPTer story.
Yes.
For the first time. Yes. That's where it all began.
In front of your mom, boy. That's so embarrassing.
Right in front of my mom. That's where you told the show, where you captured my pee in a cup.
Yeah, I mean, France is a huge market for us, and I mean, just in traveling in general. But I think that being aligned, we've been able to put ourselves in with some really, really good companies that are doing it right and always focused to the smoker. And it was a really good, refreshing tour because we didn't just stay in Paris. we got to see some of the smaller cities in France, and we saw a lot of people. One of the companies that we work with, actually, this was a project that we started at the beginning of the year. Yeah. This was the Alpha Liquid project, where we created this light tube kit with 2 bottles of liquid in a packaging that is meant for people to convert. What's really great about this package, the liquid is great, the light tube is great, the Z-Coil is great, okay, all that. But what's really great about this package is the literature that it comes with. It is packed with literature to help people, assist them in the conversion, right, Phil?
Not only assist them in the conversion, but understand why they're converting. What's it going to do for you? How is it going to help you?
Yeah.
Right. So, boy, I wish that every kit can come with that.
Yeah.
It's almost like, when we talk about platform kits, they come with the QR code.
Yeah.
You can scan the QR code, you get videos from me. How about a QR code saying, why are you vaping? What's it going to do for you? Where are show me the positive studies.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a great thing to put in the kit? But I do have some breaking news from France.
Oh boy. What's that?
This just came today.
What is that? Is that a bill?
This is the bill again from the hospital visit in France. This, by the way, I submitted it 3 times to the insurance company. So I was hoping that it was like, thank you for paying. So I scanned it. I sent it to Thomas. He's like, no, it's the bill again. He said, but on the bottom, it says, if it has been paid already, just ignore it. So
disregard it.
I'm just going to ignore it and hope that it goes away.
Just disregard, or either that, or when we go to France, because I still
as soon as I get off the plane.
I haven't paid. Wait, hold on a second. I haven't paid the speeding ticket either. My wife, I just forgot about that.
Well, you know what?
So when we walk into France, and we're going to be approached by AK-47s and get thrown in a French prison.
We'll be in adjoining cells. It'll be fun. Okay. So anyway, that was the first show of the year. The second show of the year was without one of our special guests tonight.
Yes. Yes.
And it was Jay Love. Well, Jay had some issues today. The 5 Points van got stolen.
Yes. So I have this ready here to show everybody. Jay was scheduled to come on, and what happened is that the big box truck that they moved liquid with was stolen, and they found it. they found it, and the police called them to go down and pick it up. So there's all the with the police guys. That's where Jay is right now. They're waiting on a tow truck to come and pick it up because it's not drivable. And whoever stole it had a record or whatever. So, but I mean, what can you say about 5 Points? The question has been the question. The company has been around since 2012. Always doing it right, always doing it very tastefully, very classy. Has helped their liquid has helped a lot of people quit smoking. I can't tell you how many people back in the day told me that it was Queen's Gambit or it was Castle Long that got me to quit smoking. Right. And I'm happy that they're still around. I know they're probably not where they want to be, but I know that I'm very happy to see a lot of companies have shut down. Let's be honest. I'm glad to see them still being around. Very, very classy. And they were supporters of the show when we first started as well too. They were big sponsors of the show, so we thank them for that.
Absolutely. And Jay might still show up tonight. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see if that happens. One of the things that I wanted to catch up with him is on the Orchard line. I want to see how that's doing for them, and I want to see if they have any more understanding about the legalities of that, and if it's covered under any of the rules and regulations of vaping, because it's the artificial nicotine.
Yeah. Just a little question from the chat. Janine asked, why is the Canadian government following EU's lead of putting a nic cap but ignoring flavor's role in successful quitting? I think one of the reasons why is because we put a lot of attention, good or bad, if you want to put it that way, Janine. But I think a lot of the arguments that we make with the government is like, look to the EU. Look to the EU. They've regulated, and vaping is doing well. It's helping people quit smoking. So if they do look at the EU, they see a 20 milligram nicotine cap. That's what they see. So I mean, listen, I don't like the Canadian government. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Health Canada at all. But I get it. You know, if you're asking these people to regulate, they have to look at existing. When does Canada do anything by themselves? They look to the U.S. most of the time to make laws, or they look at other countries. I'm not trying to offend the entire country of Canada, but I'm just being completely honest to you, you know? So if we're telling them, look at the EU, that's what they're doing. They're looking at the EU and they're seeing what the restrictions there are. Now, yeah, the flavors, I get it. Some provinces have made their own laws, but that's basically like states. States here have banned. There's 7 states in America that have banned flavors, right? So as far as the 20 milligram nicotine cap, they're looking to the EU because we, and by we, I'm assuming the advocates or the people that are talking to the government there have told them, look at the EU. This is how they've been able to stay away from the kid problem, and that has been the nicotine cap. All right, back to you, Phil.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The kid. If you look to the EU, you're going to see the nic cap, but you're also not going to see the epidemic of teens vaping or underage vaping. That really doesn't exist. But hey. So the next 2 shows, and I think the next 2 shows kind of kicked off the DP show in a way, right? Because the DP show was originally created to just give people something to do during coronavirus.
That's
right?
correct.
Maybe lighten the mood.
It started as COVID relief, basically. I mean, we're humanitarians if you think about it.
Yeah, we really are. We should get funded as such too. So the next, and I have actually an interesting story, related to this. But the next 2 shows were COVID related. Coronavirus and vaping was season 2, episode 13, and we should still be living by some of those rules. Keep your mouthpieces clean, keep your mods clean, use your antibacterial wipes. Just be smart. That's all. Just be smart and wear your mask, and hopefully we will remain safe and healthy as a lot of us have, right?
Yeah.
But the interesting story is I've had some very close calls with COVID, right? So my good friend Chris here in actually 2 blocks up from me, he had COVID. I was with him. I think a day before he became symptomatic. So he had it at that point, right? He didn't get it, or I didn't get it, and his wife didn't get it. We both vape. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Now, here's the really interesting one, okay? And this is just a week and a half ago. Kim's sister, Carrie, and Chad, they also moved here. Their youngest son, Andrew, just had COVID, right? Mom didn't get it. Dad didn't get it. And the older brother didn't get it. Guess what?
They all vape.
They all vape nicotine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? Isn't that like weird and odd and interesting and strange? But
I mean, it's strange.
I'm not saying it's protecting everybody,
yeah.
right? Because we've had some really bad news recently.
Yes. Yeah, we had Scott Zegans passed away from COVID. I mean, that's what they said online. So I only met the guy a couple of times. He was always extra nice with me. We've had a couple of deaths. I had a friend here in Dalton, Georgia, passed away from COVID. So it's a serious thing. It really is.
Yeah.
But all the studies that have come out, especially one just recently, a few days ago, came out from the cohort from Pelosa and Farsalinos, shows that users of nicotine, whether they're smoking it or vaping it, are lower rates of contracting COVID. So everything that you hear from the government saying that COVID is more susceptible to vapors is complete horse crap. There's no evidence. There's no scientific data to back that up at all from the American government.
It is horse shit. And then our next episode, and this is an interesting episode because I direct people to the page on tasteyourjuice.com because of this episode a lot, because we gave away a lot of information. We gave away recipes, we gave away links to devices and equipment, and it was just a really, really good show, and hopefully it brought them some like additional business or viewers or subscribers or whatever. And that was the DIY special with our current guest,
Yes.
Jennifer, aka Juice Fairy Winstead, and Wayne Walker was on the show too.
Yeah, that was a really, really good episode, and it was good to see this, to have them on, because they are the top of the line when it comes to what we're talking about when we're talking about DIY. But I learned a lot, so I know that if I learned a lot, I know that the viewers learned a lot, and people that might be hesitant to try DIY. Hopefully, they got the opportunity through the information that we provided in these shows to attempt it. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know what's this. Oh yeah, this is. I just saw this. You have it tagged Dimitri Junkie.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, but hey, Jennifer's on here with us now. So hey, Jennifer, what's going on?
Hi guys, how's everybody doing?
We are good.
You guys have been talking away, and I've had so much to say about everything, but I have ADD, so I've already forgot all of it. But every time you guys were saying something, I had jokes.
I'm sorry. Well, now you're back. Now you're in the conversation. You can back up and bitch about anything that you want to. You have the right.
Well, all I know is that I've had jokes all throughout all the things you guys were saying, but
yeah,
I no longer remember.
That's okay. Let's talk about this DIY episode. And what was the reaction that you got through the community, meaning the existing DIYers as well, too, because I know you guys are a close-knit community, but even from new people that might have came into this world, like me. I kept busting your PMs there for about a week. But what were the comments that you got after the show?
Well, I did get several new DIYers that were following me, or people that were in banned states in particular that wanted to get their flavors and wanted some advice. But more than anything, I would say that I've always been a very intricate mixer, and I like to put a lot of flavors and make things. After that show, I made it my business to start making some beginner DIY recipes so that I can guide people to make something that didn't take like 9 ingredients in it. So I've toned down my mixing and tried to hone in on just making it powerful, but without having to use all the notes. In addition to that, since smokers tend to vape in pods or in MTL systems, whether they be rebuildable or anything like that, they don't get all the notes that you would in a sub-ohm or in, let's say, my dripper. So I learned to focus on the main flavor. I forced myself to do that so that I can help more smokers that needed to DIY, that could not get flavors in their states, to do it in a way that was efficient, easy, and it would get them where they needed to be, even if it's not exactly what they wanted.
That makes a lot of sense, and you're welcome.
And you know what? I love that. I love that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I love the fact that she's thinking about the beginners and thinking about easier recipes. Yeah. But I think that's also the difference between a good DIYer and a great DIYer, right? A great DIYer can get intricate with a recipe, put like a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that, and like really, really fine tune it to where they're headed with it. But not everybody's gonna be like that. Somebody would just like, hey, look, I just want to mix a couple of flavors and just vape. I want to vape, right? But I really appreciate her doing something like that.
And a lot of smokers and beginning and vapors, more of them just want to be able to vape something good. They're not DIYers, and a lot of the newer ones that are having to do this out of force don't even want to. It's not even a hobby for them. It's just they're trying to stay off cigarettes. So where for me, I want to taste the notes, and I'm addicted to buying flavors, and I just want to know how everything works and what the highs and lows of every single flavor is. They don't care about that. Okay, they want a strawberry, or they want a watermelon peach, or they want a
the number one selling
talking about lube earlier.
Yes.
And how you guys were going to market your things, and you said the watermelon peach, and I was thinking, Demi's menthol might be a nice touch.
You got something going on there. You got $1 billion idea right there. Can you imagine, Phil? a little WS-23 lubricant. Oh God.
Let's do it.
That was one of my jokes. I remembered it as I was talking about it.
You got some. Now you got me my mind working. I might have to test something out. But anyway, yeah. But I think that what was great about that episode, and subsequently what we did with Taste Your Juice by putting all these links up there, it was very easy for us to say to somebody, because I mean, you get tired saying the same things over and over and over and over again. You could tell somebody, here, go watch this, invest a couple hours of your time, get the basics, go to the website, here's some links, and there you go. We try to cover it in a way where it was easy for us to get people that message us and says, hey, I'm trying to do this. Here, just go to that link, and it has all the information that you could ever need.
Right. And that was my goal, was to make sure I even simplified it further than that, because I know that we already simplified it that night and we did dumb it down. We dumbed it down, but there are other steps we can take to make it even simpler.
Yeah.
I had a unique experience with DIYing, and this was just recently. I had to make another batch of the pina colada that I continue to use, that recipe that you gave me. And I was mixing in front of people who don't vape, right? And one person did vape. And when I was all done, they said, that's all that's in there, right? They were, I think they were surprised by, like, they thought it was like all these kind of like scary chemicals. And I thought that was interesting to have somebody see that who doesn't vape, or maybe has a preconceived notion of what vaping is and what's in that liquid.
Oh my God!
When they see that, it's just like,
you don't put heavy metals and formaldehyde in.
Formaldehyde does not come in a bottle. How about that? Yeah.
You have to exhale to get that one, huh?
I've been asked by Patrick to ask you how your younger sister is.
I will refrain from using dirty language on this show, but you can tell him that I will be sure to IM him my reaction.
Okay, and also, of course, to wish you a happy
younger sister.
Yeah,
and he insists on saying that.
Oh, I get it. And he told me to remind me to tell you happy birthday for yesterday. I remembered, and I posted it on Facebook. Unlike my co-host Phil, which completely ignored your birthday, so I'll put that out there.
I didn't ignore it. I just didn't see it.
No, you ignored it.
He was just in his slump. What is it that they said? Deflated. He was deflated even further yesterday.
I will tell you one thing, that after we did that show, and then I mixed, and I just made 1,000. Well, I made it before I went to Greece. I made 1,000 meals of the PP tiers, Phil's PP tiers, a la mode. I made 1,000 meals. I've given a couple 60-meal bottles to friends that have quit smoking, blah, 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 just to help out and stuff like that. A lot of people like it. But I will tell you what I'm really happy about. I'm not concerned anymore as a vapor. I'm not concerned about the bans. I'm not concerned about whether, I know that if I have to, I can make, and that kind of, it took a little bit of the stress, off your head with everything else that you're dealing with. And it's a good feeling to have. So even if you just want to attempt just to learn how to do it, just in case, I know that I can do it now.
Right, and you had never DIY'd before that.
10 years I've never DIY'd. No, I like my shit made for me. I'm lazy.
Yeah, and now how many times have you remade that same recipe?
I've made it about 4 times. Like the first 3 times were smaller batches, like 120 meals or whatever, and then the last batch I went all out and I made 1,000 meals of it. And
and I don't know if you remember, but I did tell you that I made a recipe that I think you would like, and I'm waiting for that bottle to get down because I need you to be lower on it before you make anything else.
Okay.
Otherwise, you might set it aside and waste all that.
Oh, wow. It's that good, huh? I don't care. I'll throw shit away. If I like something, I go after it. I don't. If I like it, I'll vape it. I don't care. But yeah, sure. I'd be more than happy to try it. By the way, I don't know why you took this picture here, Phil. Couldn't you find a better picture, like a better screenshot of Wayne?
Hey, look at man, I was just screenshotting left and right.
He looked like he just hit a bong and he's exhaling. That's exactly what he looks like there.
Maybe he did.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did.
Jennifer, have you run into any issues with people not being able to get their DIY supplies because of bans or
No, but
nano
I'll tell you
efficiency.
this most recent vape mail ban has got the DIY community on edge about the nicotine, but not just the nicotine, because the language is so specific about
CBD is included in it. Delta 8's everything is included in this. By the way, I just want to put that out there. It's so vague that it captures everything.
and it's gels that can be aerolized or
Yep.
vaporized.
Yep.
So I mean that if so, we are pretty certain, okay, that we can still get our PG and our VG, and we might not be able to get it from a flavoring supplier, right? But our nicotine comes in a liquid, and it's liquid.
Yes.
Suspended in PG. I
Yes.
don't care if it's salt or if it's regular, it's suspended in PG. So how is that going to be affected is one question. But then another question is, our suppliers have flavorings, right? And everybody always argues that the flavorings are food grade flavorings. Well, in the United States, we have everything has to be certified if it's going to be used for food, right? Well, we currently import flavors that are coming from France, from
Italy.
I mean, all over the place. We have Inawera, we have Flavor Art, we have SSA, we have Molenberry. All those flavors are from outside of the country, and they're not certified in the United States for food. So then where do they fall? They can only be used in something like beer making, wines, or vaping. So if they're being sold in a site that is selling all those flavors together, what's it going to do to that once they start catching up with that?
Right.
We're
Yeah, it's a little bit
concerned
scary.
about that.
Yeah. It's a little bit scary. I don't know. I wish I had the answers. I know a lot of people have been asking me, privately about. We're just gonna have to wait and see how it plays out, and if it's gonna be enforced too, because some of these laws are just not enforceable too. I mean, I'm just
pretty sure that the flavoring thing, the places that will be affected, which is so sad, are the distributors, not the actual manufacturer. So you might still be able to get the flavors directly from different manufacturers.
Oh,
but you're
absolutely. You can get shit from China. It doesn't fall under the USPS vape mail ban. You know that, right?
Well, I don't know if I can get Flavor Art from China.
That's
so
Trump administration putting it to China. I'm just saying. Don't get all hateful on me. I'm just being honest. No, they won't stop packages coming in from China.
So what do we do? Do we need to head back to China and just create a DIY shipping thing now? We got to do that too, right?
That's what we're gonna do. Question for Jennifer: does anyone store their flavors in the fridge?
No, that's pointless. Flavors are suspended in PG. Propylene glycol is a natural antibacterial, microbial.
There you go. There's your answer.
Wait. What if you do store your flavors in the fridge?
Oh,
that's where Phil has them. If you didn't get that,
nothing's wrong with that. But the flavors, the molecules and the flavors, things that get hot expand when they get short. They shrink. So I mean, you're going to want to bring them up to temperature before you use it, or your ratios might not be right. Plus, those compounds might float or sink, and then you have to shake the hell out of it before you use it. I mean, I shake everything, even my bottles of water, on accident, just because out of habit. But you might not want to keep them in the fridge. Just keep them in a cupboard.
All right. Well, I tell you what, it comes delicious every time. So, and don't forget, I have that. Shake my water. I have that very fancy magnetic stir.
I do. Yeah, I got a picture of it right here. But which, by the way, is that it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but are you in your magnetic stir? Are you stirring your flavorings? Are you stirring?
Oh no, that's the weight.
Actual recipe.
Bring the whole recipe together.
Is where things will settle and might settle or
so I gotta basically look at the flavorings and make sure there's nothing settling and separating the okay.
I shake all my flavors. See, this one's so great. It's not see-through anymore. That's because I shake it so much, and it's a lemon. It's actually lemon Sicily from FA. So I keep my flavorings, well, Shook
Yeah.
it.
By the way, how do you know when you're a serious DIYer? When you have a bottle of lemon flavor that big.
She likes her lemons,
Hold
man.
on. That's not the only one. Look. What's this? Mango.
Wow.
That's just flavoring.
That's crazy. That is nuts. But listen, in all honesty, Jennifer, we really I can't thank you enough for doing that episode. I got a lot of good comments on it, and I can't thank you enough for being just the person you are, because you help me in field, but you also you help the community, and you should be commended for that.
Thank you. And I don't just help in the DIY. I belong to, I paint too. I belong to several groups outside of vaping. And man, I'm like that pouncing rabbit. I wait for somebody to say something about smoking. As a matter of fact, there might even be somebody in chat right now, John Luby. He was in another group talking about something that he quit a bad habit, and then he said, now if only I could quit smoking. That has been the death of me. I've tried so many times. I was like, poof. Here I am to say today.
Good for you.
And he's been smoke free now for a couple of months.
Man, that is fantastic. That's a great feeling. And that's what it takes. Guerrilla marketing. That's one at a time. Just like
He lives in New York.
Wow.
So when I was telling him all about all the things, and I said, where do you live? And then he said New York. I said, oh God, what are we gonna do with you? But we do have some. I was able to locate a shop that's 20 minutes from his house. He went there. He picked up exactly the device I told him to, and the flavors I told him to try to begin with.
That's fantastic. Coming soon, Phil and Demi oversees vape carrier pigeon delivery service. If the Yellow Submarine delivery offshore doesn't work. The other day I played GTA Online, and they had an update, a DLC update a couple of weeks ago, and they put a submarine in the game. So you buy a submarine and you use it for like whatever. It's just stupid, but whatever. But I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, submarine to bring over vape products. That is a great idea. Somebody should implement that. But I've seen online people talking about we're gonna start a delivery service for. It doesn't work like that, folks. Come on. That's just.
Hey, fellas, I just want you to know that I love this.
Aw, thank you so much.
And I vape both ways. So, I mean.
You know who didn't like it? Grim Green didn't like it.
He did not like this?
No, he didn't like it.
Are you serious?
It's okay. It's his prerogative.
Well, you're right. But I think I know why, because I have bought some products that he's recommended that were pod styles, and they're usually too open. Where for me, this is almost all the way closed.
Yep.
I'm either going to blow clouds or tighten up, but there's no in between for me.
I like it tight. But no, thanks. We appreciate it. It's doing very, very well. And by the way, since you brought that up, let me show you what I got, Phil. Phil, you don't have this. Phil, don't get mad.
Oh, you got the
mad.
retros.
Get mad.
How did you get those?
Vintage, baby. Vintage. Oh, look at that. Oh, is that only? No, look. I have this one too.
You have the other one too? How did you get those?
Okay, I'm gonna send you tomorrow. But I had a special delivery made for me because I wanted to do something special for the show today, and I'm gonna give away two, one green and one orange. I will tell you in a little bit how you're gonna win it, but just for the end of the year, it's something you can't get anywhere. They're only sold in France. This is a very special vintage edition. Look at the box. Very, very sexy. Look at that. Kind of reminds me of Vintage Vapors, vape shop that's here in Knoxville. But there's
wow.
Vintage edition Coolfire Zlide, and it comes in two colors. And yeah, it's really good looking. I mean, if you like these type of colors, and stuff like that. But I think it looks really, really, really good. So
I was wondering about those because I saw your post. Believe it or not, I do see some of your posts on the platform group.
Yeah. So I had like 3 or 4 shipped in, and I'll send you out to tomorrow, and then I'll give away to the your YouTube subscribers here on YouTube.
And then yesterday was my birthday, so you can send me yours.
Hey. Absolutely. Anything you want, Jennifer. Do we ever say no to you? Do we ever say no to you?
No, you haven't.
And by the way, Jennifer is just as sweet and wonderful a person as she comes across on the screen, right? That smile is infectious. She's always extremely helpful, always answers like much faster than I answer. But thank you for being you, Jennifer. And I hope to work with you more in the future and continue to be friends too.
Thank you,
Yes.
guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Jennifer. We appreciate you. And make sure say hi to your younger sister. Just want to make sure Patrick told me to tell you.
I just rolled my eyes.
All right, Jennifer DIY. You can find her on YouTube. You can find her on all the Facebook groups. She's a lovely person. Follow her. She does great work for our community.
Thank you for having me.
Kisses. Phil. Let me answer a couple of questions real quick.
ahead.
Is
Go ahead.
Zero Nic liquid considered a vaping product? Yes. If you can vape it, it is a vaping product, whether it has nicotine or not. That's how it's considered here in the United States. It's considered like that in Europe as well, too, in a lot of the short fields. George
By
D
the way,
says,
just let Jennifer know that she's free to leave now. She
Okay.
doesn't have to have
oh,
her
yeah,
around.
you're free. You're free. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're good to go,
You can
Jennifer.
go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer.
I don't want to keep you any longer
yeah.
than you need to.
Yeah. Phil Basardo, are you able to purchase internationally? Many DIY and vape shops do ship internationally. Yes. Yeah, you can buy internationally. Nobody's going to stop it. Nobody's going to look at it. As long as it doesn't say vape on it or whatever, you can say it. Listen, you can get anything. Even domestically, with this law being passed, I mean, let's be real. I mean, cannabis is being shipped daily. You know, I'm just saying that some of these laws are, this is like wine. You know, you're not supposed to, or cigarettes. You can get cigarettes shipped to you. I mean, all I'm saying is not the end of the world. Don't panic as a lot of people have panicked. Is it unfair? Is it unjust? Yes, absolutely. And unfair and unjust laws are meant not to be followed. That is my my liberty message for today.
Totally agree with that. Let me ask you this, Dimitri. Has anything been enforced yet, other than some of the flavors, the pre-filled pods?
On
Like
a
they've been
federal
stopped from coming in.
no, nothing.
Nothing, right? Yeah.
No, it's just one of these things. Sorry, I'm fixing your shot while you're talking, but it's just one of these things that, again, it's just not enforceable. People will try to say that, you know, you just can't enforce it. It won't happen. I don't care. I don't care what people try to say. It's just very hard for the post office to say that they're going to go in. You know, that's just the reality of it. You know.
I got a email from a company pushing a new product. I think I screen captured it. It might be on the other machine. Maybe I'll just take a quick second, get it, put it over here so that you can see it. But I think it's the epitome of why we fail and we continue to fail, and we're going to continue to be in the shit because of fucking companies like this.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
Well, I mean, I saw I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it right now, but you're right. Look at that. I don't know. It's just like I'm too back and you're too forward on this shop. I'll fix it in just a second.
Okay.
All right. Where are we at?
So we're at the
continue.
next show.
Yes. Go ahead.
And we're at the retro night. Retro night was fun. We had the opportunity to kind of talk about some older devices, some older methods of vaping. And I thought one of the fun things that we did there was we punched the Cardo, right? And we made look at that guy. That's right. We also went through eSig Tech, right? eSig Tech was an old video that I did that was on the YouTube channel for a long time. And it's like way out of date now at this point. But we also punched the Cardo, and we set up a Cardo tank.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I vaped it, and it just reminded me of, it was good back then. It's easier now, right? Yeah. Oh, and you also unboxed a ton of pink mouthpieces.
Yeah, look at that. It's like a box full of pink drip tips. My mystery box was filled with pink. That's the story of my life, bro. That's
that was your mystery box. How ironic was it that everything in there was pink?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The next show, we spent a lot of time on the show. I spent a lot of time creating these slides for what can you buy? What can you buy? The 2020 edition, right? And we really went through everything. We basically said, it's not as easy as it looks, because you think about, like a pod or an open device, right? But when you get into it, when you dig down into it, there's so many different styles and methods and things you could do and things you could buy and ways that you can vape. And we really try to lay that out for people, for new vapors especially, so that they're educated, so when they go into a vape shop or when they look for something online, they get an idea of what it is that they're looking at. Because I think it might have been even in that show where we talked about starter kits and how both of us are really frustrated with the term starter kit because they're not starter kits, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, they are not starter kits.
I'm also frustrated with the MTL RDL. We made a special request
God.
we got a new product coming out beginning of the year with Phil, and we made a special request to put on the box the style of vaping that this tank is. If it's going to be MTL, put MTL, designed for mouth to lung vaping on the package itself. That way, if it sits in the store, somebody can ask, hey, if they don't know. If they know, it's easy. If they don't know, they can ask, hey, what's mouth to lung vaping? And maybe, hopefully, the employee will explain it to them. So we're making that push with Innikin to have RDL, DL, MTL on the package itself. But what I really liked about the show, forget about, of course, there's plugs for our products and other good products that are in there as well too, but forget about the plugs. If you look at the content and the information that Phil was able to gather in that episode, and we were able to explain to you, there's a lot of information that is not product specific. It's just information. It's terminology. It's tips, tricks, strategy, guidance for vape shops. It's a great episode. What can you buy? Go on YouTube if you haven't seen it and watch that episode simply for the knowledge that you're going to get. Hopefully you buy one of our products too. But if you don't, you're still going to get the knowledge, and that was very, very good about that episode.
Absolutely, it was a fun show to put together, and I think an important show. So then after that show. Oh, and by the way, like what you can buy in 2020. I'm thinking about like what you can buy in 2021. Like maybe just pods.
Yeah, disposables. Like just buy Escobars, like Lit bars.
Like Rip Trippers. That's what he reviews now, right? Is he reviewing?
I thought he left and he came back. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I know. We talked about it.
Yeah. So today he put a video. It's funny that you bring that up because you don't know this, but today he put a video up. And you're going to die laughing at it. I mean, listen, Rip, I like you, dude. I really do. But he puts a video up today, and I'm going to play it for you. Okay. You're going to see it live first time.
I haven't seen this.
This is a video titled Important News for All Vapors, PMTA Explained in 2 minutes. Which I found a little bit funny because it's December 29th, 2020. The deadline for the PMTA has passed by 3 months. Like, where were you to do these videos all last year when we were talking about the PMTA that it's coming, and we did in-depth discussions here on the Smoker Show and the DP Show explaining to you what the PMTA is. But I'm not salty. I'm not angry. I was like, even 3 months late, at least we're getting some, advocacy, some knowledge, some passion about what the PMTA is from Rip Trippers. It's a good thing. So I sat down while I was on my phone, and I pulled the video up to watch it, to see, because I'm an advocate. I want to see what he had to say. So let me just start off the video for you, Phil.
What's going on, vapors? Rip Trippers here. Pretty sure you guys have heard that something big is happening in the U.S. market. Yes, I'm talking about the Pre-Market Tobacco Application, or PMTA. Let's start with the background of the PMTA. The FDA has written and implemented the PMTA regulations for the sake of public health as early as 2016. The PMTA guidelines are considered to be the strictest in the world because of the complexity, comprehensive studies, and tests. And all of it has a wide range. The PMTA regulations affect the entire U.S. vaping industry, from manufacturers to vapors. Why? Manufacturers had to submit their PMTA application to the FDA before September 9th, 2020 to continuously and legally sell in the U.S. PMTA is making waves in the vape market. So, what are the implications of PMTA for the vape industry? First, through the PMTA, the FDA requires thorough scientific studies to prove the effectiveness and harm reduction of the products, bringing vapors safer products and a better vaping experience. Second, the PMTA asks manufacturers to manage their marketing and sales practices to prevent underage use. Third, the low quality and counterfeit products are still out there. The PMTA guidelines intend to only let in quality products so that stores and vapors can buy with confidence.
All right, so up to here, Phil, up to here,
horrible.
It's not bad. It's a little bit moot, about the safety and, the whatever, but it's not bad. And I'm like,
Also, amazing production quality.
Very,
of
very
the
good
cartoons.
production.
It was, like,
we
really
need to
good.
hire somebody to do that for us, by
I'm
the way.
telling you,
Anybody's
yeah.
interested to do that voluntarily, of course. There's no
Yes,
money,
yes.
but anybody who wants to help us with editing, we'd be more than happy to. But
Was
listen,
that a Chroma Z?
no,
Are you sure?
yes.
Okay.
So, but nonetheless, it was good. Like up to here, I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't mention that how much the scientific study costs, but it's right. Up to here, it's right. So I was like, this is not bad. Granted, maybe a few years late, but not bad. Then this happens. Phil, you're gonna fall off your chair.
Oh boy.
Considering the PMTA, will we still be able to buy products we want? Absolutely. Currently, only a few companies are able to meet the scientific requirements,
This is
complexities,
unbelievable.
and expenses of the PMTA. At first, there will be fewer products available. Eventually, vape brands will be able to bring more products into the market. Vaporesso has applied for all vape categories, including pods, pod mods, and mods. Vaporesso will submit even more products in the future. How do we check to see if the product has submitted the PMTA? The FDA hasn't released the relevant information, but we can visit a brand's website to see if they mention the PMTA. Also, we can check other channels like third-party websites. To sum it up, the PMTA will bring safe and reliable vaping products to vapors. We believe that vape companies and the FDA will create a better and more successful vaping market.
I saw Vaporesso there 16 times in 35 seconds. Like, look,
I want the paycheck. I
look,
want the
yeah,
paycheck. that
look,
he
I don't
got.
know how much Vaporesso paid for this,
It is a big.
but even I feel sorry for this. I do. I feel sorry for this video. It's like, first of all, none of the vapors give a shit that Vaporesso filed a PMTA. It's not going to affect the way vapors are not going to look at this and like, oh, Vaporesso is the only one that has safe products that's filed PMTA, and I'm only going to vape. That doesn't. The vapors don't give a shit. They don't give one shit about it. But more than that, it's. You know what really bugs me is that we had all these small companies that for 4 or 5 months worked their ass off to gather data to be able to submit a PMTA to keep their products legally on the market for the smokers that need them to stay off cigarettes. Literally hundreds of companies that put blood, sweat, tears, and money into the PMTA process. To have this joker come and just do an ad for Vaporesso using the PMTA as an excuse is such a disservice to the industry, to the community, to... I'm mad, bro. I don't like it. I just don't like it.
You know how I always say, that I struggle with, my morals and it's how I'm wired. Obviously, zero fucks given.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can get paid. I never criticize anybody for getting paid. I really don't. If I'm telling you, this is an industry, you're gonna get paid to do your work. But using this like the way it was done, 3 months after the PMTA deadlines, and by the way, that the FDA has enforced nothing, but zero enforcement, it's a little bit in bad taste. That's all I'm saying, Rip. It's just bad taste. Like, I'm sure that you could have found another way to make a paycheck from Vaporesso that wouldn't be such a slap to the face to all the small businesses in America that are going to go bankrupt if the FDA decides to enforce the PMTA. And don't be so sure that they're going to file future products unless some of the products that they've filed now get applied. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, let me answer a couple of questions, then we can get back to the recap. Paul Blamire says, Australia, they have been stopping packages at the border and some have been destroyed. That happens everywhere, Paul. You're going to have a package that's going to be pulled here and there. That's going to happen. It's not just Australia. That happens here in America as well, too. I'm just saying with the hundreds and thousands of packages that go in there, they're not going to do that. And Australia is now they're cramping down on this law, so they want to show that they're having some enforcement as well too. That's probably going to go away. Sally says, "Does anyone know what the difference between the Scepter and the Scepter MTL is?" Yes, the Scepter that came out originally, which by the way was my travel buddy all through the trip to Greece, and it served me well. The original Scepter had an MTL setting and an RDL setting, meaning a mouth to lung setting and a restricted direct lung setting. The mouth to lung on it, though, was very loose. To me, it didn't bother me. I could vape it because I vape a looser MTL. But a lot of people that like a tighter draw, like a cigarette-like draw, complain about it. So what Innikin did is they made a new pod, which me and Phil tested extensively. On the third version, by the way, of that pod is when we released it to the market, when we gave them the okay. But the final version, which is here, you can tell the color difference on the bottom. It has this orange. I don't know if you can. Well, you can't tell there, but the pod on the bottom has an orange base. The MTL version basically is just MTL. There's no RDL, so you can get it very, very tight and not very, but loose MTL. So you got tight MTL and loose MTL all in that same pod, and it does not do restrictive direct link. So I hope that answers your question. Also, Pico Electro says, don't forget.
Wait. Before you go any further, why am I so big and you're talking? Put us like, make yourself big or equal footing.
I can't.
People want to see you. People love you.
Yeah, but I don't like. I can't. I'm trying to fix your shot, but you're just.
Don't worry about it. So my head's cut off a little bit. I'll sit back here.
It's not cut off. It's just there. You go. Okay, there you go. All right, go.
There you go.
Well, yeah. Okay. It says
You were answering the question.
Oh, hold on a second. I did. Let me move this down a little bit because it's bleeding. Okay, perfect. Pico Elector says, don't forget that third-party online check-in if they submitted what was that scam. Pay us and we'll add your product to the list of PMTAs. Yes. Yeah, you're right, Pico. that was ridiculous. All I know is that the FDA has done nothing. There you go. Does that solve your PMTA question for 2020? It does. All right. I don't see. Let Rip know so he can push the new one for you. That's a good. That's Katie. That's a good. Listen, we'll pay Rip for a review. I don't care. I mean, Mannequin does it all the time. Everybody does it. Everybody pays for reviews. But the new product that's coming out, he might like it. Get a little cloudy with that. Anyway, go ahead, Phil. Go back to your.
All right. So in the next episode, we talked about DIYing. We actually made our own e-liquid, and that's when Phil Basardo came out and he made the e-liquid in the Italian language, and it was fun. We started off talking about COVID-19 because we talked about that a lot during the year, but then we had some fun and we made our own liquid, and we proved that Phil's method by weight is much easier than Dimitri's method.
Appropriate shirt on that screen cap as well. Yeah, right. By the way, so I'll put it out there with the chef hat. But there's your scale that you were talking about. There's your beautiful stir with heating, and then we showed some of the stuff that we purchased to. Nope, that's not it. We showed some of the stuff that we purchased to make liquid, and yeah, my method was not good. I mean, my method was not the best. But look, Phil's PP Tears a la mode came out delicious.
That's right,
and that's all that matters.
Yeah, as long as it works, do what works for you.
The great thing about DIY is that the Y stands for yourself. That's what DIY is. It's not DI, let's all vape it. It's DIY. So if you like it, if you don't like it, it's up to you because you're going to vape it. So no matter how you make it, as long as what you vape you like, then DIY has been successful for you.
Yeah. Then the next episode 19, you did a really good job. You wanted to put this one together, and it was, why is my tank leaking? Some of the things, one of the questions we get asked a lot, right? And the first thing that we will ask you, is it leaking or is it seeping? There's a really, really big difference. We talked about the Australian vape ban in that episode, but it was mostly about, why is my tank leaking? Why is my tank seeping? And, this is one, if you're watching and you have a smoker friend that just became a vapor and they're having some of these issues, that's one of the reasons why we're recapping these shows. Send them to a particular show if they're having an issue. And this could possibly solve their issue. You did a really good job with that episode there, D.
It's something that we hear all the time, and it's something that you're not going to be able to avoid. I mean, at some point, you have liquid, you have air, it's going to leak. At some point. It happens to everybody, experienced vapors, new vapors, beginner vapors, intermediate vapors, the best equipment in the world. At some point, you're going to get that. And you need to learn what is the condition that made you get that leak and how to fix it. Just because if you're a new person watching this, or if you're a smoker, or if you're a new vapor, just because you leaked a little bit does not mean you have to stop vaping. That's the goal of that. Is like, here, look at this and pinpoint and learn to understand your equipment, no matter what it is, to be able to combat that in the future, and don't let that be a deterrent, because for a lot of people it's a huge turnoff. Leaking is a huge turnoff when they come to vaping. Kind of like dry hits.
I think any hassle when it comes to vaping is a problem for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
They'll use it until something bad happens, or there's a little curveball in there somewhere, and they'll instantly go back to the cigarettes.
Yeah.
And that's why I always thought that like maybe a pipe smoker would have a better time with vaping, because there's maintenance to the pipe. They have to clean the pipe. They got
Yes.
to use
Absolutely.
the pipe cleaners and everything. But it's not that bad. You can work through it. You can continue to vape, and you could just not smoke anymore.
Yeah. John Haymaker says, when does the vape ban go into effect? 90 to 100 days, 120 days after it was signed. So 3 to 4 months from now. Again, we don't know. Just give it some time as things develop, and we'll keep you updated on what that happens. Rob Copel says, can someone say for certain if the new Scepter coils with seaweed are safe for someone with a seafood allergy? I can't say for sure.
Asked me that several times, and I haven't gone to Inikin to get the answer. I don't think it's going to affect anybody.
I don't think so either. I think that because it's dry. I mean, it's not like they take the seaweed out of the sea and stuff it in between the cotton. It's a dry fiber layer that goes in between cotton, and it's a very, very small coil. So the quantity of it is minuscule inside. I mean, I can't tell you for sure, but I just don't think that you would have any issue with it.
Also, let's not forget that seafood is not seaweed, and seaweed is not seafood. They're two completely different things, right?
Yes.
One is a plant, one is an animal.
Correct.
So I don't see that happening.
But what if a fish eats seaweed? That seaweed then in his stomach become seafood?
Well, yeah, but they're not making. They're not.
No,
making
they're not. I was
coils
just wondering.
fish innards.
If that was the case.
I think if they were, it would the cost would go up substantially, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So the next two we'll go through the next two really quick. The episode 20, I did an interview with Dr. Pelosa. He was nice enough to do an interview with me. We talked about some of his studies that he had going on, and we also dug into Avali.
I thought that was him. Go ahead.
That's not him.
It looked like it. All right, I got it. Go ahead.
So that was
sorry. The pictures were all like kind of like last minute. So sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Dr. Pelosa, another one of the champions for vaping. I mean, him and Dr. F started together at the same time in Europe, and I mean, he's got, I think now 46, 47 peer-reviewed studies published under his belt, and he works with the University of Catania in Italy, and just a huge supporter of harm reduction. And we need more Pelosas in America, for sure.
Yeah, and just you know what, I've really never. I mean, I've met him a couple of times, but I've never really had the opportunity to talk to him.
Yeah,
like a genuinely nice guy, and
very nice guy
too.
Very nice guy. Very knowledgeable.
So the next episode was your favorite subject, Dimitri, temperature control.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't here for that, for sure.
You weren't. Actually, Bill did that show with me. You were taking a break, and we just went through temperature control again. We went through all the slides. We went through how the technology works, what it does, how it does what it does, some of the issues that you can have with temperature control, and we built a temperature control build too. So those were some of the things that we did in that show.
Fantastic. Hold on, we got a phone call.
Continues to be a big mystery to some people. I don't know how many people are actually using
nobody
the technology. Probably
you and Marshall Keith. 314. What's up?
Hello, gentlemen. How you doing? This is Paul Mitchell.
Hey, Paul. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to call in. We're getting a lot of bad news lately, and I just wanted to share some good news with you guys. Last winter, you guys sent me and my family 3 Zenith slide kits, and 3 of my kids quit smoking. And Phil kind of talked my wife into trying vaping, and she's been off smoking for 11 months now. So just want to tell you guys thank you so much.
Paul Mitchell, your phone call just made my night, buddy. Anything that was bad in 2020, I just completely forgot about it.
No, I'll tell you what, guys. You guys really did change our lives. And 5 of 6 of my family quit smoking because of you and Phil. And I do really appreciate it. I don't know how to ever repay you guys.
You don't
But
have to do
what
anything,
you guys
Phil.
did, I don't know. I don't feel if you do remember, my wife wouldn't switch over because I
I
was so
remember.
bossy and trying to push it on her.
I
And
remember.
then you told her some kind of magic, and now it's over. She's trying to turn people, over from smoking to vaping now. As a matter of fact, we're in St. Louis, Missouri, visiting her aunt, uncle, and her cousin, and they're watching with us. We've been here since Christmas, and since Christmas, we've been watching one smoker show a day with them that
That's
change them
fantastic.
over. And well, unfortunately, we can't get any slide. I'm sorry, Zenith coils. Everybody's sold out. So
Yeah.
we went and got them some puff bars.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing great. They are smoking a little bit, but not as much. They're vaping and they're all in. So hopefully, we got 3 more guys for you. They're all watching right now.
Paul, Phil.
That's terrific. Well, Paul, was your wife one of the people that had a issue with when they vaped, they coughed?
Yes, 100%. Sure was.
There you go. Yeah, I
Sure was.
remember. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I went through my usual spiel with her. It's just terrific. It's like with everything that's happened bad in 2020. It's good to know that we did some good. It's good to know that there is some good. Hopefully, if we have enough time at the end of the show, I'm going to share some more good stuff with you guys. But
Yeah.
you asked how you can repay us. You just did with this phone call, and we really appreciate it, Paul.
Absolutely, 100%, Paul. And listen,
Guys,
get him to learn how to order online. You don't want to run out of coils. Tell him to order online. Try InnikenStore.com. There's a few Element Vapor, My Vapor Store, My Freedom Smokes. They all stock Z coils constantly. Teach them how to order ahead and plan ahead so they don't run out of coils.
well, no, we have tried. They're out right now.
Oh, those
The
fuckers.
question I had for you guys was, is there a way, because we have a lot of them that are older, we didn't throw away the coils. Is there a way to clean them and reuse them until they come back in stock?
Don't you have a video, Phil, on that?
There's a new device that I haven't tested yet. It's in my list of things to do that supposedly refurbs coils. Okay, it cleans coils. If you give me a second, I'll go grab it. Give me a second.
And Paul, listen, are you? I know for a fact that there's InnikenStore.com has them stocked in there. But what I'm saying, just make sure that do a Google search or send us a message to make sure that we check with people that we know that possibly could have them. And Vaporfy is another one; they stock them as well too. But the main thing here is to plan ahead, because vaping is not like cigarettes. You run out, you can't go to the store and buy sometimes, especially MTL stuff in America. So, teach them how to plan ahead. You're going to need, 4 coils, order ahead, and always order a little bit before they run out. That way you never overlap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my wife is online right now checking. But the thing is, since last year, we started rebuilding our own.
Oh, great. That's fantastic.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That is great. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Phil.
Are you using the Aries too?
Of course.
Awesome.
Always trying to make some
Then
sales. I love it.
I'm not even going to show you this, because if I show you this, we might sell less coils. But I'll show it to you anyway.
Okay.
This is called the Robo 2020. It looks like a little bit of an R2D2. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to clean your coils. Now, I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tested it yet. But just keep in mind, right, that if your coil is going bad because the cotton is degrading or the cotton got burnt, ain't a thing that's going to be able to do about it, right? If you're maybe if your flavor is maybe degrading a little bit, but you haven't burnt things, this might help. But yeah, I mean, hey, there's nothing like a fresh coil, right? And they're not that expensive, but I understand the concern when you can't get them. I get it.
Yeah, it always sucks when you can't get coils, man. It really it sucks. You just have to plan ahead. It's some of the problems those are some of the problems that we had at the early years of vaping, when we had to order everything online. There was no vape shops, and man, I used to stress it a lot. Especially with Cardos and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I got to make sure I order so I don't run out, because you don't want to run out. But it's just one of the hassles of vaping, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we went against the advice of Grim Green and ordered 4 Z slides. I'm sorry, The Slide. What was the name of the new one?
The slide. Oh, the
No,
Chroma
no,
Z,
I'm
the
sorry,
Chroma Z, the Chroma Z.
Chroma Z.
Yeah.
We ordered some of them because we're coming to Florida on the 2nd, right after New Year's.
Yeah.
No, we ordered 4 of them because we got some new smokers in Florida, and we're going out there for a month after New Year's, and so we're gonna take them with us.
Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, I hope
Nice.
you love it. Everybody's liked it. Don't listen to Nick. He just
Oh no, they're not for us. They're for people that we're going to Florida for.
they will love it. Trust me.
That's terrific. That's
Yeah, I
terrific.
know
Yeah.
they will. I know they will.
Yeah, Nick didn't like the weight of it.
Yeah.
He didn't like the weight of it.
Yeah.
Where are you going in Florida? I'm just curious.
We're going to Panama City and in Tallahassee.
Okay. Well, listen, you have a safe trip, and I really appreciate the call. Great call.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I appreciate. By the way, just listening to this, I had a vendor just message me that with his phone number, and Chris Louts from Tennessee here. He says, "Hey, give him my telephone number. I've got Z coils in stock. You can just call me and just order them." See,
Okay, great.
That's what great this community is, man. So send us a message, and I'll get you the
Great,
information.
thank you.
Thanks, man. Have a great night. Have a happy New Year to you and your family. Congratulations on all them being
You too,
smoke
guys.
free.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. See, that's the beauty of it. I mean, we gave a lot of kits this year as much as we possibly could, but to have somebody call back and tell you that they quit smoking with the stuff that you sent is just there's no better feeling in the world,
right?
Yeah.
It's terrific. So listen, this next episode I want to talk about a little bit more.
Hold on a second. We got a guest that came out.
I know that's why I said, but we got one of our guests who made it. He made it.
Hey, Mr. Jay Love from 5 Pounds. How you doing, my friend?
It's so good to be with you guys. I know you knew I went through a little debacle, but I heard that last call, Paul, with the 4 family members, and that truly is why we do what we do. And you guys,
man.
I know you feel beat up sometimes, and you're definitely going through this tumultuous 2020. But it's really been 7 years of trials for this innovative technology. But kudos to you. That was a really heartfelt message, and to hear that the show is changing lives. I always knew it would, and it does. But to hear him call in, that was meaningful. But good to be here with you.
Thanks. Did you recover the 5 Ponds box truck? That's the main thing.
So our box truck was stolen in daylight, and we got a call from the Huntington Beach Police. We found it. It was leaking some oil, so we had to wait for a tow truck, and they didn't have the right size tow truck, so they brought out the big red, it looked like it was ready to tow a bus.
Yeah.
But we got it, and I'm here, and thank you for your patience.
Question
It's
number
just
one.
another exclamation point on 2020.
Thank you. Question number one. Did the box truck have liquid in it when it was stolen?
You know what's so odd is I just had loaded up some surfboards, and it just had surfboards in it, and they didn't even take them.
Wow. That has to be a dumb criminal. I mean, number one, you're stealing a truck that has no liquid on it. Number two, you're stealing a truck that has a huge 5 Ponds logo on the side. It's not like you can hide it somewhere. Like, he needs to go at America's stupidest criminals. I hope I see it on one of those episodes soon, Phil.
I'd love to focus on the smoker, but I just have to share with you how frustrated I am with our governor. This particular thief, this is the second car he's stolen this month. He's had 20 arrests. He's in his early 20s. They keep letting him go. They do not hold or process really these guys anymore. They just let him go. And so they go, unfortunately, he's going to be back on the street again.
They're too busy trying to ban flavored vapes. That's why. They're just extremely covered up with flavored vapes in California.
There's a lot of work to do banning vaping. And, the sad thing is that, this guy stole the truck, but there's other guys that are going to rape, they're going to kill, they're going to murder, because just let them go. Let them go. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. I love the title of the show. I love how you were going through all the episodes. There was the temperature control one was actually one of my favorites. I remember wrapping coils with nickel and trying to control the temperature.
Yeah.
But I think we all agree that lower temperature vaping, it's either coming back. It's never been an option for me. I always like maximum harm reduction. And for people that were watching the show, I know they have questions if they want to sub-ohm or they hear all these different things, but lower temperature vaping has always been a preference. And I'm glad that, devices like this, the Scepter and temperature controlled technically with, the Adept and these things, you can control it. I just don't really go over 25 watts. you
Yeah.
know?
If you're vaping low wattage, I mean, the only real benefit is that you're not going to get a dry hit on temperature control. That's the benefit that I see. But if you've been a vapor as long as we have, you know when you're about to get that really bad burnt hit off your tank. And even if you do, it is what it is. But when you're vaping at 16, 17 watts like we're vaping, that I find it a little bit moot, me personally. But don't tell that to Phil though; he's gonna get offended. But yeah, bringing it back to Five Ponds, I mean, we talked a little bit. We talked about it a little bit earlier while you were recovering the box truck. But your company's been around since 2012, always classy and always geared towards harm reduction and conversions and helping adult smokers quit. And that mission, much like us, has not changed over the years. I'm sure that you guys are not where you would think that you would be when you started the company, and that's just the nature of the business. But you're still around, and that's very, very important because we've seen a lot of people go out of business.
100%. At some point, you have to realize that this is a commoditized market. You can't be on an island in pricing, and you need to adapt. And 2021 is really exciting for us because there's still 38 plus million smokers out there, right? So we've done a good job collectively as a industry. Converting, what is it, 11 million? You guys know better stats than me.
I mean, I would debate that number, but I would say that we put a little dent in smoking. How about that? We put a dent.
A little dent, but we have a long way to go, and that's where I'm looking. I really want to get rid of the gloom and doom. We've had so many hurdles. We're going to bob and weave, and we're going to figure out a way. But this technology it's going to be evident that this is the superior form of nicotine delivery, and we're 100% committed to continuing giving that experience, that aha moment when they've killed their palate after 20 years of smoking, and they can identify with flavors. And that's why we do really descript flavors, where you can taste different notes. And it's fun after smoking for so many years, kind of depicting different flavors with your palate. So we're going to focus on that. We try not to add any artificial sweeteners, and so you can go with those lower wattages at 50 VGPG and you can get the full flavor experience. So we're focused on it. We can't wait. In fact, we're looking to grow the sales force. So if you know anyone, send them our way.
Well, me and Phil might be looking for work.
What are you paying? What are you paying? Is the pay good? Yeah, absolutely. I would love it. Boy, that would be a great company to represent.
I can't tell you how many bottles of watermelon peach he's sold. I mean, he's a really good salesman. Really good.
Absolutely. I would hold this up, and I'd be like Castle Long Reserve, the #1 best-selling flavor in the Five Ponds line. I would do that for you.
It's very good. That's very good.
Thank you.
How's the Orchard blend going for you?
So again, we've realized it was a commoditized market. We were missing out on the simpler fruit flavors. We wanted to come out with that line. It's held well for us. We have some diehard. It's funny with e-liquid, right? You have some people that are just diehard. They love it. And then you have other people, it's not for them. So we try to, that's what the 5 Ponds stand for, the 5 senses of the human palate: bitter, salty, sweet, sour, and savory. This hits the sweet side. And without the sweetener, it's just kind of pure, clean fruit. So some people really gravitate towards it. It's still not close to the Gambit, Grandmaster, Castle Long, the original 5 Ponds flavors, but it's definitely worth having on board, and we're going to continue to have that. We might cut the ice. We did go for the ice side of things to cool it down with the menthol. Wasn't the biggest hit. We see markets in South America, those areas.
Yeah, you need to put WS-23 in it. Menthol ain't going to cut it. That's gonna tell you. That's what they want. They want that shaving cream in there. But I will tell you what you said is very, very accurate. I released this in Greece. It's called Fruit Drops. It's like something like it's like the PB Tears. It's just a blend of a bunch of fruit. And like you, I am against sweetener. So we put no sweetener inside. We try to sweeten it with raspberry and try to use like little tricks, ethyl maltol, stuff like that. And this is the response that I got. There's people that love it, and then there's people that say, oh, it's not sweet. Right. It's like either appreciate, but then again, we vape at 16, 17 watts. We're able to pull these little, notes out of a really good flavorful fruit blend because I vape fruits only, and I like them cooled, right? So I did a freeze edition of it as well too. But this is exactly the response that we get. It's like people either love it and they like the fact that it doesn't have sweetener, their coils last longer. Most of the people vape up to the 25 watt range, but the people that are vaping in the 60, 70, 80 watt range are like, oh, it's not sweet enough. And that's because when you're hitting something at 80 watts, that's one of the reasons why you put sweetener in it, because of, you know, the reaction that you're going to get from the coil.
And I never try to talk down on that. It's if it keeps you off cigarettes, all the power to you. And I know you guys have always been the same way.
Sure.
But if you want to maximize harm reduction, lower power, get the full flavor without having to crank that up. So I'm glad.
And consumption.
And I love to see you when you go to Greece and you send pictures when you find stores with 5 ponds. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like Paul's call, it just makes it all worth it.
Yeah,
you know?
it really does.
When you're helping people, and we have to focus on international markets, but another goal of ours is we are not going to turn our back on the U.S. no matter how bad legislation goes. You know, this is our home. This is where this industry developed. Really, I see a lot of people just turning, hey, all we want to do, we're going to build international. No, we need to stick to our guns here.
Absolutely.
And do what's right.
Even more so now, believe it or not. Yeah.
So I've been reading the Stoics lately. I'm not a big, philosophy guy, but you can control what you can control. You work your ass off to do the right thing, and try to better society. And we know that what we're doing collectively is better than the alternative, and it needs to be professed and it needs to continue. So I'm excited. I know you guys get down, Phil, you get bummed out, but if you ever need a pump up, I'm here for you. Life's too short, man. That dash between our born date and our end date is just too short. This year we've seen a lot of really important people within our circle, pass away. And it's just
been rough.
And so this gives us some great purpose. I know you guys are so passionate about this. It's funny because I'm not losing that. I'm fueled by it. Every time you get one of these hurdles, it's like, how are we going to figure this out? We need to figure this out, and we're gonna figure this out. And luckily, we have some sharp guys within the office, and I'm proud to be arm in arm with on this. But we're collectively figuring out ways. And like you said earlier, Dimitri, we don't exactly know. This isn't a flavor ban. This is states need to collect their taxes. It's going to be arduous to do the paperwork and file the taxes in each area, but there's going to be a way to deal with it, and we're going to figure it out.
Just like we always do.
And just like we always do.
Phil?
It's like we've been beaten up and kicked and we're calloused. It's like, bring it on, because we know it's better. We're not harming anyone, and it shouldn't be illegal. It's silly.
We're helping people.
I'm trying to get on LinkedIn more, right, and kind of talk.
It's a good platform. I like LinkedIn because you do connect. I've been Thursday. I'm doing a mainstream podcast. This is the second time I've been approached to do a outside the vaping world podcast, and every opportunity that I get, I take it because I get on there and I really push the message. And I got that through LinkedIn. The only thing I don't like about LinkedIn is like 1,000 Chinese messages trying to sell me puff bars. I hate that. I hate that. It's constant.
I'm with you.
Phil?
I don't know. I feel a lot better. I think Jay should open up a psychiatry too. I think it'd be really good. I feel so much better now.
That surfer
really
attitude, man, just makes you just put you.
I think it's a really good attitude, Jay. And I tell you what, I wish that I had that attitude more often. I really do. But I love the fact that you guys are still there. You're still doing the same thing. You're still maintaining your quality. You still have that look about you. You haven't sold out. What's the reaction to the man-made or the artificial Nick? How's that going for you?
I am so grateful every day for our retailers that stick by us, because it's really a retailer's explaining this and carrying our product. It's been well received in that the flavor is clean, it's clear. There's no difference other than it may be a little cleaner. Physiologically, you get a kick, so that's similar. It's the interpretation of the law and where people interpret that, right? And so again, copious amounts of legal counsel. We wouldn't have made a move if we didn't think we could do it, and so we made that move, and it's been pretty good. There's no nitrosamines, there's no derivatives from a tobacco. It's the same molecular structure. Physiologically, like I said, it's the same. It's been really good, to tell you the truth. We had a phenomenal holiday release of Cast Long Reserve that was really well received. That's kind of our bellwether, is to, that's our tried and true flavor that we release every once in a while, maybe once, maybe twice a year, and sold that out in record time. But going back to what, so it's good. Thank you for asking. But going back to what you had said, we were always sticking to that mature image. We really want to legitimize vaping. That's why we support this. Shows we like you guys so much, because you have always been that way. And I think it's going a little bit better for the guys that are trying to do it right. The nefarious guys, 8816, all the non-compliance, it paid off not to follow the rules. It always typically does.
Cash grab.
We're following the rules, and we're still here. We've jumped over a lot of dollars to pick up dimes, because we're not with traditional distribution in the US, because we've seen a lot of brands take off and then they're sold so cheap that it just ruins the market. We've just kind of been the tortoise, and we're looking at the long game, the marathon of tobacco harm reduction. Just want to be a player within that for the long haul. And so we'll see where this goes. But
I was looking at it's just on my YouTube. I've been watching a lot of YouTube the last 10. Well, I mean, I've been since the coronavirus. But on one of my suggestions, Phil, on my YouTube, a show popped up from Vape Team in 2014, when I used to do the Vape Team show, and it was called Vape Team Media Roundtable. And in that, it was Stephanie, Jamie, of course, me, and I think it was Uncle Dagger, James Martin. And we were talking about labels. In 2014, we were talking about, because that was the beginning of when we start seeing these really bad labels come up. And in that episode, I said, this is going to be really, really bad for the industry if it continues, and vapors should not support this image and this imagery and this nomenclature that's coming out in these labels. And this is in 2014. Now, yeah, it might have taken 6 years, but it's gotten a little bit better. But I'm gonna just throw a curveball to you, because I gotta talk about this. One thing that I know about you, and this is purely from following you all these years, is that you have a really good understanding about retail. You do seminars. You try to help your retail partners. You offer them advice. You offer them strategy, not just for your product, but just general. How do you feel about vape shops selling Delta 8 now? I'm sorry. Did you think this was going to be like, what, easy? We're just going to kiss your teenager looking ass right now just because you got a haircut? You look like you're 12, as Patrick says. What do you think?
That's great.
I had a COVID hairdo. I said, hey, this is ridiculous. There's companies being closed down for this is damaging. I'm not cutting my hair until the barbershops open up again.
Yeah.
And then I had it for a whole year, and it was getting all long. And then one of my neighbors here has a barbershop, and he goes, I got 2 kids to feed. If you know anyone,
yeah.
still open, kind of go around the back door. And I go, hey, I want a haircut. Let's go. And he just shaved me up. So it's pretty
look
nice.
Great. But don't dodge the question.
I know. And I have friends who developed these products, and they've talked to us about these products. And it's kind of similar to CBD, where I've tried the products and I don't feel that it's really tobacco harm reduction. There's a place for it somewhere in a particular store.
Yes.
Right now, it's just not for us. We want to be like In-N-Out. You have In-N-Out Burger out there?
Yeah, no, we don't, but I've been to one, of course.
Do 5 things right. They don't have a crazy menu. They just do what they do, and they got the horse blinders on. And I really feel for our positioning in the market and what we need to do. We need to focus on what we do.
I agree with you.
We've made a lot of money going different directions, but we've stuck this out, and we're going to continue to.
I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I bring it up because you do have that retail experience. And my advice to the vape shops is, and it's tough for me in Tennessee, because I have some really good, strong retail guys and manufacturers that care. and have funded my project since 2014. My biggest, and it's so hard for me to tell them this, but my biggest argument to them is like, for a year we got raped over EVALI and THC cards. We got raped for a year. We worked so hard in the legislature to separate ourselves from it. We don't sell these products, and now we sell them. So, you know, it's just, it puts me in, as an executive director of an association, it puts me in such a difficult position. Do I change it now? Is it TSFA plus CBD plus pipe bongs plus Delta 8? You know, I mean, or is it still Tennessee Smoke-Free Association? Because this is what we were representing. And if I go to a legislator and I tell him, hey, listen, these guys are helping people quit smoking, and that legislator walks into your store and sees pre-rolls that you literally light on fire, combustibles, or Delta 8, all these products, then it makes the association look, you know, weak and lying, but also it goes against, it harms harm reduction movement even more. That's my argument to it. I have nothing against it.
It is in Tennessee, but in California, I was walking to lunch the other day and I walked through a big plume of marijuana smoke, right? Ooh, and it wasn't a contact high, but I giggled and I go, at what point did it become less stigmatized than vaping nicotine?
And
like,
strawberry flavored vapor? Yeah, right?
It was surreal. It was a surreal moment.
The reality.
I understand the dilemma for a lot of.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. He was going to make a very good point, too.
He probably was, but it's probably that haircut that did it, but he is frozen in time. Maybe he will come back.
You know what's interesting? We were just talking about this, and we were talking about labels, right? And we were talking about like how you. Oh, he's back. Go ahead.
Oh,
sorry, you froze for a bit. Jay. Go ahead.
I went through California, walking through the big
Yes, we got that. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the survival of a store. A lot of this goes to the survival. Of a store.
I get it. I get it.
Glass shop. I know.
As a small business owner, I believe in the free market, and I know how I get that point. I really do. But I think at some point you need to rethink the name of your store, and it shouldn't be Vape Shop anymore. It should be something else. That's all I'm saying. If you want to stay in the retail business and sell, you know, whatever, drones, Delta 8, whatever you want to sell, it's fine. I can't tell you what to sell into your store. But as somebody that's leading a movement of tobacco harm reduction under the umbrella of a smoke-free association, it's a very difficult proposition for me to continue to lead you successfully in the job that I've done in the last 6 years in Tennessee. I mean, whether you agree if I've done a good job or not, my record speaks for itself. I've never lost a bill in Tennessee. So,
and I love when you guys speak to your stores on the retail level and helping them present products and merchandise and do that. Like that was, are you still doing that? Because that was kind of a paradigm shift.
Yeah, we did it. We did it for a while, and then there's just no interest anymore, Jerry. Me and Phil offered the Back to Basics seminar for the vape shops. We did it 7-8 times here in America for some chains and stuff like that. And then there was just no. There's just no interest into what we have to say. I mean, that's basically that's all I can. Phil, am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. There's no interest in what we have to say. There's no interest in, okay, we'll get to this maybe tonight. There's no interest in a product like that. And that's one of the most important products that has come across my desk this year.
Absolutely.
Wait. Like that?
Yep. Absolutely.
I love it. The tactile feel.
Yeah, it's a product designed to help people quit smoking, but there's no interest for it in America. Unfortunately, and we didn't launch it in America. I mean, we brought some in for Inikin store because people were asking for us, individuals, but there's simply no interest from vape shops. In Greece, we launched this a week and a half ago. Every store has like 40 or 50, because you know New Year's is coming up. Every store ordered 40 or 50 kits from him. And my store, 20 euros, this with a bottle of liquid, is the special for New Year starting January 1st for the people that make the resolutions. Wow. We can't keep them in stock. People are buying them just to give them gifts for Christmas and for New Year's resolutions. The goal of this was not only to put the tip to make it familiar, was to make it look like the IQOS. Second, to be familiar for IQOS. And number 3, the most important, which a lot of people are forgetting, under $20. You can take this and put Delicious. A bottle of Castle costs more than the device. But you can buy this device and put Delicious Castle inside and quit smoking. Under $20 for this device is unbelievable. and there's just no interest. There's just no interest.
The vapor production with a 12. I've got a 12 in this.
All you need.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's a Scepter coil, basically. That's why it's good. It's a Scepter coil hitting it at the right wattage. But anyway, that's not here or there. Phil.
And I hear the defeat in that, guys. I love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
I hang on words that you say because it kind of guides some sanity. You know, you go off and do your thing, but I know there's a lot of people that value what you have to say. So don't.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's everybody. So don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
And
It's
when
not
you
everybody.
talk to retail and you're trying to go back to the basics, we do the same thing. Video Skype calls with some of our retailers. It's about connecting with the retail salesperson because there's a lot of turnover. Connecting with the retail salesperson to kind of give them a glimpse into 2012, 13, 14, 15, when it was all about the smoker, right?
Yeah.
And getting back into that fever of helping people. Kind of lost our way a little bit, and then I think we're coming back. So we shall see. Do you have any good marketing ideas for these stores to get people in the stores now that there's the threat of the online ban? I think it's exciting for stores. I feel horrible for some of the good actors.
I don't know how exciting it's going to be for the stores. I just don't think that smokers are going to gravitate to the vape shops as it was before. I think that the scenery has changed. I think unless we get some products approved and change a little bit of direction from the government or some of these groups like Tobacco Free Kids, it's not going to change. They're scaring people away from the product. So do we have, yes, inside our seminar that we did for these vape shops, we had, a portion of it is how do we draw new customers to it? And the answer is very simple. I mean, it's just what I do in Greece for my vape shops. I help people quit smoking. Every customer that I help quit smoking brings me 10 customers a year, Jay. That is just proven mathematics. It's not, I can show it to you. But you have to be able to get that customer in and say, look, I don't want your $100. I want your $20 and buy this. Don't buy the 3 battery mod that your buddy has. Don't buy 3 milligram liquid because that's what he vaped. Just trust me. I am your nicotine expert and just give me $20. When I tell this to customer in Greece, they laugh. They're like, I'm trying to give you money. I want to buy, the Wasp Nano. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to sell it to you. I just want $20. That's all. 20 euros I want from you. This is what it's going to take. In 2 weeks, you come back, you can upgrade, you can buy whatever you want. And that trust that so many people have told me in Greece, I came here and your employees would not take my money, has been the best marketing I can do for Liquid Puff in Greece. Everybody that has quit smoking has brought their cousin, their mom, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their in between, whatever. It's bringing me business because I do that. I don't try to sell them a 3 battery mod with 6 batteries, a battery charger, and a gallon of liquid when they come in, just to hit for $100 and smash and grab and not see them again. That's been the number one tool.
The evolution, right? They start with something and then they'll be interested in maybe upgrading to another device and another type of liquid, and they keep growing in their experience. The experience of the tasting bar, which we put these stamped steel, beautiful tasting bars, it cost us $75 each to get out to every store, is gone. You can't, it's especially with COVID, right? You can't taste on, so you're not really getting that flavor experience. It really relies on the guidance of the person behind the counter. So we try to engage them a little bit more than most to win them and show them that, this is a trust. This is a game of trust.
I can't, Phil, yeah, I'm sorry. Phil, how many times did we hear between 2016, 2017 to 2019, even early 2020, we have no demand for over 6 milligram liquid? Just tell me how many times we heard it.
Still hear it today. Right. As a matter of fact, I was talking to you before the show. I was approached by a few different companies because I would love to do e-liquid reviews again.
And we would love to see them.
I really want to do e-liquid reviews again, right? And I was approached by a few different companies. My first questions are always, what's your PG-VG ratio? What is your nicotine? What are your nicotine strengths? I hear the same thing, 0, 3, 6, 50, right? And then like some of those 70, 30, 60, 40, 50, 50, but it's always the same thing, 0, 3, 6, 50.
Yeah. So there you go. And people don't understand that the bread and butter is for vape shops is liquid and coils, Jay. So if you can't sell the right product and have a business plan in place, meaning that I need to be able to get this customer to come into my store once or twice a week to buy his consumables to keep me in business, but also to make vaping fun and satisfying for him in a good, pleasurable way, and not a task as these high nic disposable pods are making it, or dual use. I think that's where we see a lot of the errors of the industry here. And if you in 2020 you're competing in a market of 50 milligram disposables, you don't have any demand for 12, then I just don't see any future as a vape shop. I'm not saying if you're going to bring all these other products, yeah, that's fine. But as a vape shop, meaning dedicated vape shop, if you don't have 12 in your store, there's no future. Period. I don't know what else to say. I've said it a million times, and I piss off people every time I say it, but that's the truth. I mean, you can't deny it.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you say that, because we made the switch to the S-isomer nicotine, and it's quite expensive.
Yeah, I get it.
Just quite expensive. We had to cut back on our 18. We even dabbled with cutting back 12, but we said, no, you can't get rid of 12.
No, you can't.
But it's so darn expensive. But unfortunately, and fortunately, there's so few people buying 12 that it doesn't really, it's an add-on.
Yeah.
We're trying to grow that again. And so in 2021, we're going to work the pricing out so they can get the 12 at the same price as others. And we want to bring back 18. We are dabbling on the 30 milligram side. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't see why not. I really don't. Ironically, Phil, do you remember a couple of years ago we met this guy from Canada that makes liquid, Homeboys? I'm gonna get hate mail again, but you remember Homeboys, guy with a little goatee that had all these like elaborate tikis on his bottles and stuff like that. Short guy from Canada. He kept pushing his liquid on us, like, try this liquid, it's great, try this liquid. And then I'm like, okay, do you have 12? He's like, and then he laughed at us. Yeah. In a show, Jay, he laughed at us. He's like, oh, you old people, nobody vapes 12 anymore, and blah, 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 and all this. Guess what? He just released higher nicotine just the other day. And he made a post on his Facebook. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're bringing back, like, you're bringing back high nicotine, dude." Just because, you know what I'm saying. I laughed. I laugh because I'm like, you're a joke. You're a joker. When we were telling you, we vape 12, but it's not for us. It's like, how am I going to recommend this to somebody that's starting? I'm going to put 90% VG 3 milligram in his pod or his tank and tell him to quit smoking. But of course they didn't see it. They were making money hands over fist back then. Money was coming out of their ass, selling all these gallons of liquid. But when the things got tough, now he turned it around. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to send you some now. I'm like, bitch, you didn't have it back then. Bitch, I don't want it now. That's basically what it boils down to me. That's how I handled that. But anyway, but yeah, back to your question. I'm sorry, I went on a rant. Back to your question. Yeah, I don't see why not. Why not?
Yeah, okay. Well, after watching You Don't Know Nicotine, and I see you wearing the shirt, and I don't know if you guys have already talked.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
What a phenomenal show.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
The passion came back. I got so fired up. I had to give it to my neighbor and tell everyone, because I love nicotine.
Absolutely.
And it calms me down. It explained how it calms me down to focus better.
Absolutely.
I don't feel, I've been running. I went on this 75-day challenge. I was working out a lot and I was drinking water, but I can run 6 miles,
Absolutely.
10 miles, and I feel good.
Phil can do 17 miles on his bike, just like that. I mean, just like that.
Electric bike?
No. It's a pedal bike.
That's not right.
But
Real
yeah,
bike,
but
I
listen,
pedal.
you're absolutely right. Listen, the demand is there, and more choices are better. I completely agree. There's absolutely nothing wrong with variety, but it has to go across the board. You have to have something for everybody, not just a select few. And that, I think, is the error of the industry. Is we only pick out a certain few just to make the cash grab, because what is hot there, and we forget about the possibilities of what is out there. And that's where we are right now.
And I'm sure with your e-liquid, a couple of yours are the best sellers, and you have a few others that sell all right. You think about, maybe we should cut that off. You try to. We put a few flavors in the vault, and you should have heard, this is what got me off of cigarettes.
Right.
It's the only thing that I can use.
Right.
We had to bring them back, because you don't want to neglect that person, because it is the variety that they need. We have so many variants of none of the same flavor, everything's a little different, but everything is designed for that particular palate. For somebody, it'll work. Anise was a thing back in the day. We took away our anise. We got so much hate mail.
Listen, I agree. By the way, PSS, I'm going to disagree with you. I love you, but I'm going to, because you say there's 10 e-liquid lines at the top of my head that sell 12 and 18. You brought up M-Turk, Vinyl and Vapor. None of those a year ago were selling 12 and 18 PSS. This is my point. Of course, when MTL is back, everybody's on the bandwagon. They're making 12 and 18 now. A year ago, nobody was selling 12 and 18. That is exactly my point. I'm not taking it out on you. It's not your fault. PSS, trust me, it's not. All I'm saying is that these jokers now, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, yeah, well, we got 12 and 18. Of course we got 12 and 18. Well, guess what? For 3 years, you didn't have it on the market. That's all I'm trying to say. And we missed that opportunity when vaping was hot to convert 20 million people in America. Oh, I'm getting fired up.
You're right, though. And we've seen
You can't deny it.
8 years is quite a lot. You know, this was a new and up and coming industry. We've actually seen trends. We've seen changes. 6 and 12 are what help people. I see the most that help.
In today's equipment, you can put 12 and help somebody obviously quit smoking. In today's equipment. And if somebody that's heavier, you can put 18. There are people that need more than that. I'm going to go once again on the record because this is the Smoker Show, and I'm going to tell you that in vape liquid, and here's Jay, they make vape liquid since 2012, 5 Ponds in California. Recently had their box stolen, but it's been recovered. So they can deliver. I'm going to go on the record and tell you right now. In the product that Jay makes and every other liquid maker that makes, nicotine is the safest component. It is the safest component in that bottle, okay? So there's nothing wrong with nicotine. Absolutely not.
Nothing wrong with nicotine.
Put it up there, 20, 30,
The
40,
science
50.
is there. And
Absolutely.
You were referring to the 40-plus peer-reviewed studies of Dr. Is it Pelosi?
Pelosa. Mm-hmm.
Pelosa. He's amazing.
Yes.
And we've got advocates, Clive Bates, all, you know, when is it going to break through? How do you guys see it happening? It's going to happen. It's going to become readily evident that this was the right way. And it'll be celebrated, not demonized the way it is. But
One day history will judge us, Jay. I just don't know. When that Netflix documentary comes out 20, 30 years from now, we're going to be old and gray and sitting in our diapers, and we're going to be looking at it and say, hey, oh, look at these guys, these pioneers back in 2020 that were doing the Smoker Show talking about nicotine. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to be. Eventually it will, but I don't know how, you know, I don't see it over the next decade, unfortunately.
You don't see it in the next decade?
I don't.
Oh, man.
America was
Always
built
be
on
right.
tobacco and alcohol, my friend. You know, I'm Greek and I know the history better than a lot of the Americans. I'm just saying. So anyway,
Yeah, you look at prohibition, you look at marijuana, you look at all these.
look how long marijuana took.
War on drugs. But now there's more distrust in our government and our media than ever.
I agree with that.
before. At what point do the people
I don't know.
make it
Phil,
so?
jump in here, buddy. You're sitting quiet.
Oh, hi. How you guys doing? The show's fantastic. Jay said one thing that I absolutely love. He said that he dropped the flavor, and there were a few of his customers that said, hey, that's what I use. That's what I use to not smoke anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine how we all felt, right? Because we're 12 milligram vapors, and all the 12 milligrams, they went away.
All of them. All of them.
I mean, a lot, like most, right? And I understand what Pam was saying. Pam was saying nowadays. She said nowadays, but you feel betrayed. You're like, well, that's what I need. And if I need it, there's got to be other people that need it. I always said, I equate it to a shirt at a store, right? Let's say your large doesn't sell that much. So do you now sell small, medium, and extra large, or do you still carry the large?
Right.
Just in case.
It's a great point.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. So I love what you said. I love that you brought the flavors back. I love that you're thinking about all your customers on an equal basis and not just saying, okay, well, here's the trend. Let's just go with the trend.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
Fuck what everybody else is doing. You know, fuck what got people to quit smoking in the first place, and let's just follow the trend.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
There, I said something.
Jay, no, good for you, and I totally agree with you. Sublime is a flavor that I vape from Nickwood. Now it's called Nixteria or Flavors or whatever. I love that flavor. And apparently I was the only one in America because they discontinued it. And I messaged Adam and I said, Adam, I said, and I've known Adam and Scott since Vaporcast days. I said, Adam, I said, listen, this is like a cigarette to me. Like this is my go-to flavor. I don't vape it all the time, but I need it because I don't feel comfortable as a vapor without it. And the guys make me, even today when I ask for it, they make me a liter bottle and they send it to me because they know the importance of how important that liquid is to me as a vapor. And imagine, like Phil said, doing that to all these people that were at mouth to lungers that were vaping 12, 18, and you remove it from your lineup. And now what are they going to do? They're going to go DIY, or they're going to go back to cigarettes. You're losing business. You're losing customers by saying you have no demand. You don't know how much money you have lost probably over the last 2-3 years. I can guarantee you the DIY community is very thankful for liquid manufacturers that eliminated 12 and 18 because it really pumped up the DIY community here in America. Anyway.
Yeah. I'll let you guys get back.
Thanks, Jay.
To
Appreciate it.
What I wanted to just impart is, if this show's helped you, write Phil and Demi and just give them a kudos and attaboy, a thank you. If you have any manufacturers that have helped you along your journey, it means a lot to them. We're all going through a lot. We answer all of our emails and respond to folks, but it means so much when we get those testimonials or those emails that it has helped them make that transition. And I'm grateful for those every day because that's literally what stokes the fire. And I want to give you guys a huge round of applause for making it through 2020. I'm looking forward to a great 2021 and keeping in touch. But thank you for the opportunity and thanks for being you guys.
Thanks Jay.
For sticking with it. Right. So we'll be here. Let's keep going.
Say hi to the other pawns. Absolutely. Thanks, Jay.
Come on, Phil. Upward and onward.
Come on, Phil. Get into it, buddy.
Let's do it. I love Jay. Jay's one of the. Jay, thanks very much. You could drop.
Thanks
off.
for coming. Thanks, Jay.
He's one of my my safe spots, right? Like when I go to a show. And like I'm talking to a bunch of people that I'm enjoying talking to, but when I just want to get away for a little while, I go. He's one of my safe spots. Go talk to Jay for a little while.
Yes, they're great.
There's more things that I wanted to cover. But we're running late.
Yeah,
right
let me get through. Let me get through some of these questions. Let me switch to this. Let me go to this because I've left a lot of these questions behind. Got a link for that presentation on LinkedIn. Demi, I will post. Amish asks, I will post. The podcast is being shot Thursday, and whenever they put it up, I will have the links in my LinkedIn and of course on my social media when that's up. Ferry says, I followed Phil when the first time 12 years ago I had a heart attack, and I watched his video on vaping MTL, so that video got me to try them out. Vaping, I never went back since then. I love MTL. Congratulations, Ferry. I'm glad that you recovered from the heart attack and that you are doing well. Ronnie Mitchell says, hi, Jay. This is the same Paul that spoke to you about 5 of us that only vape 18 milligram Grandmaster, and now we vape 12, and it's great. Nothing else comes close. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope Jay hears that. I hope he's still watching. Katerina Z says, EQ filter made my sister quit smoking. Congratulations to your sister, Katerina. Red Vapes. What's up, Red Vapes? Where can I get the Innikin filter? I've seen, looking since I saw Mark Todd's review, InnikinStore.com is the only place in America that has it right now. And that is because me and Phil pushed to have some pieces sent here for people that want to order them because, they're not in distribution. Lazarus says, Dimitri, what is the name of that pod with temperature control? That would be the Reflex by Evolve Vapor, evolvevapor.com. If only there was a good watermelon peach, says John Q. Public. Do you know of a good watermelon peach, Phil?
Yeah, you might want to try the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted line, the delicious watermelon peach. And you can get this from Dash Vapes in Canada or Rocky Top Vapor in the United States.
RockyTopVapor.com. Here in Tennessee. Pascal says, is 5 Ponds available in Mexico? That would be a question for Jay again. Jay, if you're in the chat, if you're available in Mexico, I think they are. But Jay, if you're still watching, if you can put in the chat if you're available in Mexico, and thank you for that. Let's tone down because I've got some other stuff to talk about as well too. From the recap, anything else that we really need to bring up?
No, I don't think so. The one thing that I wanted to talk about with the recap real quick, and you just mentioned it, the Reflex, right?
Yes.
This is one of the questions that I've been receiving a lot lately, surprisingly a lot lately is Phil, is the replay worth it? I want to get this as a present for my mother, my father, I want to get them to quit smoking. Is the replay worth it? Right. And my comment has been pretty much the same. the replay is an investment. Okay. And it's almost like when you're quitting smoking, try the normal cessation products first, right? If that doesn't get you to quit, come on over to vaping. We will offer you tobacco harm reduction. But just buying the replay and giving it to somebody, they don't have that vested interest. You might as well buy them any vape device. So what I would recommend is go less expensive first. And we continue to talk about this. And I talked about it in the end of year video too. Try something like that first, because as good as the technology is in the Reflex, right? I still feel like when I have that device and I'm using that device was designed for a vapor. It feels like a vaping device, right? The technology inside is for a smoker, but this feels more like a cigarette. It feels, it performs, it behaves more like a cigarette. And I even said in that video that these two need to come together and have a little baby, right? Yeah. But great device. But if all else fails, like with something like that, then try something like that.
So I will give you from a retail perspective, because we're selling Reflexes in my shops in Greece. So we brought in a small order. We bought pods. A lot of people were asking it for it, mostly vapors, because they're DNA fanboys, and that's fine.
Right.
So I think we sold, like, the first couple of weeks, I think we sold like 26 to 28. That's across 3 stores and the website. Okay, so so more than what I expected. A few people that privately messaged me told me that they were getting it for their dad that has tried the available products and hasn't been able to quit, which was really good. And I like to hear that. So I think Phil hit it spot on. What's the difference between this and this? Well, right off the bat, about $60. Okay. So that's the number one difference, right? Me personally, I don't care how much money you're going to spend. If you're going to quit smoking, it's worth it, right? Is this going to do it? Well, you have the opportunity to try that with $20. That's the difference. This will give you that realistic mouth feel of a cigarette. It has a really good hit. We've done the power to coil ratio perfect. The draw is done perfect. What we feel is perfect as a cigarette draw. Can you do that with this? Absolutely. Does this have other features that this doesn't have? Absolutely. This will be able to give a delivery of nicotine different than this, right? So this requires what we do in the store. We tell them exactly what I told you. All my employees are trained to offer both of these options as a starter kit, but they have to explain to them what the differences between the two are and why this one costs $80 and this one costs $20. And then the customer can make that choice. I believe that both of these products have a place on the market. If in the future we're able to get this form factor with this chip under $30, then there shouldn't be anyone in the planet left smoking.
Agree.
Totally agree. That's what I believe. What else?
Is that what you had? Is that what you were going to add at the end of the show? You have more stuff to talk about.
Grim says, hey, Nick, what's up? I bought one to review and was hyper disappointed. The Reflex, that is. I mean, I don't know. I don't, disappointed is not the word that I'm like. I mean, the technology that has gone into this, if you look at the technology, is truly innovative, which is very, very hard to do in our industry today. The form factor and, you know, the feeling and all, we talked about that when we did the presentation here of the free Reflex. I don't want to repeat myself. Yeah, that one is challenging. It's challenging when you're telling a new smoker, hey, you know, you got to take this pot off and take this little thing. Don't lose it, by the way, and it has to be put in this way and blah, blah. It's very, very difficult where there's a lot of devices on the market that are plug and play. But from a nicotine delivery, because that's what vaping is, about how we're going to deliver nicotine to this person to be satisfied enough to quit smoking, there's nothing better on the market. Purely from a vaping nicotine delivery into your body, there's nothing like it on the market, period. That's my thoughts. But I think that the devices and the products that are out there on the market today, there's no reason for you to quit smoking. Okay, go ahead, Phil. What did you want to say? I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No. I said what I was going to say.
Okay, I do want to bring one thing up.
Yeah.
For 2020, you know, it's been a challenging year. It's been a difficult year, but nothing has been more challenging than having Jerome Adams as our U.S. Surgeon General, the top doctor of the United States. So, by the way, Patrick or Kevin Crowley, if you're in here, this is the portion where you have to start recording to use it on your podcast, Smoke Free Radio. If you haven't tuned into Smoke Free Radio, the guys are doing a great job. A lot of great guests lately. Search Smoke Free Radio on all the podcast players and listen to it. It's just fantastic. But I do have to touch 5 minutes on the U.S. Surgeon General. This is the top doctor of America that has caused death throughout his career. I don't know how this person is still employed. If I had done in my job what Jerome Adams has done, I would not be employed right now. I would be unemployed. Why do I say this? Okay. I'm going to start way back. I'm not even going to start why he was U.S. Surgeon General. I am going to start when he was in Indiana. He was the top doctor, the Surgeon General of Indiana. And while he was there, he was under this guy. Pence was the governor of Indiana. Both great lovers of vaping, by the way. But Pence and Jerome, they love vaping. But Indiana was facing a health crisis, and that was that people were getting HIV from needles. So a lot of states have implemented needle exchange programs. Well, guess what? This guy and his buddy Jerome Adams, okay, read this article, and his buddy Jerome Adams says, due to ethical beliefs, and of course, giving out needles to drug addicts, we don't believe that we should do a needle exchange program. Guess what? People died. People died in Indiana. It took them 6 to 8 months to finally change their position after multiple deaths, after multiple disease, for them to change their position and implement a needle exchange program, which actually started to work and save lives. This is why he's Surgeon General of Indiana. And to reward him for these deaths, they made him the U.S. Surgeon General of America. Only in America would that happen. It wouldn't happen in any other country. In any other country, if this was North Korea, he'd been shot. 6 feet, done. He would have been done. But you say, oh, you're just picking. I'm not picking on him. I'm not picking on him. While in March, while the entire world was under the coronavirus, the entire countries like Italy, Greece, UK, France, everybody was scrambling with coronavirus. Jerome Adams was not concerned about it. In fact, he tweeted, I'm not worried about COVID-19. I'm worried about the flu. I'm also worried about the guy that's reclining in the chair in front of me on this plane, right? How many people could he possibly have spread the virus if he had it on that plane that day? He said he didn't know. He said that he got data afterwards and it changed his position. Well, that's a lie. Because look at this. Look at this. This is an email that was sent to him that says, don't ignore, he's listed on that email list. Don't ignore the coronavirus. This is happening in China, South Korea. This is happening in Italy. This is very, very serious. This email was sent to Jerome Adams. And you're like, why? What difference does it make? He's actually made a tweet. This is a tweet that he talked about e-cigs. He's like, oh, yeah. The people that quit smoking with vaping, they're anecdotes. His thinking behind it is because I have Google. I have Google that sends me national articles on vaping and e-cigs. This is the top doctor of your country, fellow American citizens. He has Google. He gets Google alerts on vaping. This is how he's going to make policy. Well, he has Google, but apparently he can't open up his email to read that the rest of the world is burning from corona. On top of all that, if that was not enough, after the U.S. Surgeon General said, okay, well, now we have to wear masks and wash our hands because this corona thing is getting out of hand and people are dying, and Big Mama wants social distancing, what does our top doctor do? He gets a ticket. He violates Hawaii's virus guidelines in place in a park where he was with his buddies. I don't know what he was doing in a park with his buddies. And he gets a ticket. He has to go to court because he was not wearing a mask and violating Hawaii's guidelines on what you should be wearing outside. Nobody's talking about this.
When did that come out?
This happened December the 1st.
Wow.
A circuit judge set a trial date Tuesday for a case involving alleged violations of the city's coronavirus restrictions by the U.S. Surgeon General during a visit in Hawaii in August. Folks, this guy is on Twitter every day telling you to comply with the 3 W's. Wash your hands, wear a mask, wobble your way to social distancing, whatever the 3rd W is. He got cited. He got cited for not following the guidelines and not wearing a mask. And I thought that's it. He's got to learn. He's got to learn. Nope. The top doctor of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. 19th of December, 2020, tweets this out and deletes it afterwards, which is against law because this is under his U.S. Surgeon General Twitter account. He posts a picture of him in Ohio speaking about COVID-19. He's not wearing a mask. He's talking about COVID-19. Everybody around him is wearing a mask. And the U.S. Surgeon General is not practicing social distancing. Look how close he is to the guy next to him. And he's talking about COVID-19. He's talking about and he's not wearing a fucking mask. So, folks, the reason why I bring this up, when you hear your Surgeon General says, oh, nicotine ruins the brain. Oh, you guys are anecdotes. Oh, vaping doesn't help people quit smoking. Oh, vaping is bad for the kids. Oh, vaping is a gateway to smoking. The reason I bring all this up to you is don't believe the bullshit. If you've seen a pattern of death, and that's what our U.S. Surgeon General has caused, a pattern of death in every office he has held. I'm still surprised that he still has a job. If you see a pattern of death, you continuing smoking and not trying vaping will put you in that same path, and that will be death. That's my message for 2020, Mr. Phil.
Well, there is nothing that I had for the rest of the show as powerful as that. So we're going to end it there, and whatever else that I wanted to talk about, we'll just move over to the next Smoker Show. Is that fair?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's a hell of a way to end, man. I didn't know that was coming.
We got it in there. Yeah. It was just something. Hopefully, we'll cut it out and we'll tweet it to him. Maybe he'll watch it. Maybe it'll come through his Google feed. Maybe he'll get a Google alert on that too.
Wow.
Anyway, all right. Any comments that we have left? Listen, it's been a trying year. It really has. But we're still here. We're still doing our thing, and we're still trying to get people off cigarettes. We're still trying to create lightweight devices for Grim Green. We're trying to spread the knowledge of what vaping is and try to separate the truth from the bullshit that you hear out there. And there's plenty of it coming around in mainstream media and through these anti-tobacco control groups. And as long as we can, we're going to continue to do it.
And try to make the technology more approachable. Try to have you guys weed through everything that you will come across out there, and try to make a good decision for yourself if you want to quit smoking.
Yeah, absolutely. So having said that, Melissa Simmons here. She's late.
I saw her come in before.
Did you? Okay, I just saw it. I do want to give away 2 of these vintage kits. It's just so good looking. Let me put it up close here. I like the packaging. Look how cool that is. How cool that is. Those French guys, man, they got something going on. So what are you going to win? I'm going to have 2 of these kits. One is the, what would you call that? You'd call that orange, right?
Yeah, I call it orange and
mint.
Mint.
Yeah, orange and mint. I'll have 2 of these kits full with a slide. New year, 2021. What do you expect? Just leave us a comment down below on the video. The rules are very, very simple. You have to like the video, share the video, and then just leave us a comment underneath there. Just tell us what you expect for 2021. Good, bad, mediocre, a little bit of mix of both. Just leave us a comment in the video before underneath. And on the next Smoker Show, we'll a little random generator and pick 2 winners and give them out. You can't get this kit in America. So if you're in the U.S. and you win it, great. If you're not in the U.S. and you're in Europe, we're still going to ship it out to you wherever you are.
Can I hear the sound effect for picking the name again?
Yes.
Really
good. And go like that.
You know what? I said in a video that I wasn't going to do this in a video, but because it's the Smoker Show, I will do it here. The question for the stocking contest is now up on tasteyourjuice.com. You go ahead and click that little stocking icon at the top of the website. It'll take you to the contest page. You'll see everything that's in the stocking.
and you will see how to win it. If you guys have been following me, you know exactly how to enter that contest. I'm not gonna spell it out for you. So that is it. No, don't show them. You gonna show them? Well, you can show them the stocking.
Yeah, I'm just
Go
showing
down.
the.
Not that stocking.
Isn't
oh.
it?
No, you
Is
went
it?
to the wrong place. I think.
Where'd I go?
Yeah, you didn't click the right stocking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go
That
back.
was a big ass stocking that was there in the middle. Oh,
yeah,
here it
the
is.
little stocking
Okay.
at the top of the website.
That
That's
was
the little
deceiving.
stocking.
That was
There you go.
deceiving.
There you go.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, look at that.
Okay.
I'm not
no,
gonna show- Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Stop it.
Little
Stop it.
tease.
And by the way, I forgot to thank Jay from Five Pawns, but one of the prizes in the stocking is the entire Five Pawns line at a nicotine of your choice.
Aw, that's sweet. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he always steps up and does that every year. So terrific.
Good for
That's
you.
it.
Good for you. All right, we've said it all. We actually went 2.5 hours, which is a lot. But we hope you enjoyed the episode. That was the end of the year. It was a trying year, but listen, man up. We got another year to go through. 2021 coming up, so we have to stay positive and we have to remain optimistic no matter what life throws at us, right?
Absolutely.
And with that, we bid you farewell. See you next time. It'll be a DP show, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching.
Have a good night.